Good afternoon. Good morning. Good evening. Good day. It's nice to cover all the bases because I don't know when you're listening and did I miss anything out? What other times are there? Good breakfast? You wouldn't really say that. This episode's with Bobby Smith. He runs a company called Sticky Finger Enterprises. He manages a band. He's a writer. He dabbles on the old songwriting. And let me tell you, there's a few tunes written and I know they're good. So in this episode, we speak about the universe, perception in life. We speak about technology and how it's going to advance humanity, or maybe not. You'll find out in the episode, won't you, you cheeky sod? So you better listen and buckle in, because this one is... Buckle in? I'm not Alan Partridge. Anyway, listen to this and sort of be open-minded when you're listening to this one, because, you know, we do sound mad. This episode's with Bobby Smith. Let's have it! Welcome to No Stress Podcast with me. Dave Williams is me. It's a podcast where I meet up and chat with people, which is actually every podcast, really. Can't actually think of a podcast where that isn't it. Maybe there's a gap in the market. A podcast where you don't talk. We're going to chat to and get to know all types of people. We're going to speak about life, positivity, politics, philosophy, football, food, music, creativity, everything and anything. And we're going to have a laugh along the way. No stress. Enjoy. This podcast is about positivity and trying to live the least stressful life you can.
Really?
So
is it?
Yeah, that's what it's about. That's what
the wrong dude.
You know what? That's what everyone says.
Oh, well,
but
I can tell you how not to do it.
Yeah,
if that helps.
Yeah, right. So,
should
we introduce you?
How would you do that?
I'll do me first. Hello. I'm Dave.
Hi, Dave.
You're all right,
nice
mate.
to meet you.
How you doing? Yeah.
My name's Bobby.
Oh.
That's my
Well, that's a nice name.
That's what I like it.
Yeah.
It's unusual.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. Bobby.
Government name is Robert William Albert Smith.
Well,
but try not to adhere to that.
No,
too much.
Too much. Yeah. No, Bobby.
Try and create your own identity if you can.
I think so.
I chose Bobby. It could have been, Wade or Chad.
Keith.
Never Keith.
Never
gonna be
Alan.
Derek.
Clive. Derek and Clive.
This is it. There's the name.
That's us.
There's the name. Which one are you?
Derek.
Oh, all right.
I don't mind being Clive.
No, I'll take Clive. It's what God want is. Clearly.
Well, it is. It is.
I feel like I should be like balding at the top with just hair around the sides if I'm going to be Clive.
All right. Well, you do want to shave your head.
I do. I'm doing it Saturday.
Are you actually?
I am. Yeah.
I thought, shall I buy some clippers and we could do it on a podcast?
I was tempted to do that today, but all in good time, my man. Do you know? I decided that I'm going to do a little bit for the new Lanes video.
Right.
So I come up with this like narrative, and the idea is like this dude who loses his mind.
Yeah.
So I'm going to shave it off as part of
as part of the video.
Performance art.
Nice.
Well, if it all goes, badly, which it probably will.
Well, that'll be good too.
If I'm going to look like sloth, I'd rather do it in a music video. I think.
I can imagine
Yeah.
it. What I think you'll look like is Heisenberg.
I've done the research, but it doesn't account for my cone head.
No,
it's horrific. And I'll realise that once I do it, but because I've got the thought in my mind now, I can't stop it. I have to do it. It's become an itch that I have to scratch.
Yeah, well, that's good. It's better than Ted Bundy's itch, I suppose.
It's different, isn't it?
At least it's...
I've always tried to focus my hate inwardly.
If
I can.
Yeah.
Many different ways.
I've got probably a rational fear that someone's going to cut my hair off when it's up.
Yeah.
And so I put my hood up in public often. Because I think, what if someone comes up and they go, fucking hipster or something, and snip it off?
I can relate to that.
Which is so mad.
It's irrational.
Because
it could happen. It's probably not gonna.
It's more likely than getting eaten by a shark.
It is on land. If you're on land.
Yeah.
I'm the same though. When I'm at the train platform and I look at people, I do think sometimes I could quite easily push you. I'm not going to.
No.
But same sort of sense of irrationality.
Have you seen? There's a program on Channel 4 called Pure.
Ooh.
Pure?
No. Any good?
It's good. Basically, what it's about a woman who is Scottish and she has
Not interested.
Sexually...
Okay, I'm back interested.
Yeah. Sexually intrusive thoughts.
Is this the one where she says I've not got OCD, but I imagine people to be naked all the
Yes,
time? Okay.
yeah. So
Any good?
it is worth watching. She gets really obsessed by mad stuff, thinking things she shouldn't think.
I have seen some French films
I have.
about that when I was a child that were quite
As a child.
titillating. Yeah.
How old were you as a child watching that kind of thing? Because that explains a lot.
13, maybe.
Oh, that's not too young.
But porn wasn't as accessible in those
right.
days, so what you had to do is either wait for Eurotrash on a Friday night at
Yeah.
10:30 and try and get your kicks before some weird dude came on in a Penguins outfit, or
Might do it for you.
very much so. Oh fuck, man, that explains a lot. Yeah, my search history, don't check it. Or you could wait for the film noir on Channel 4 Sunday nights.
Yeah, it'd be
Arty.
classy.
It's arty.
Yeah.
It's art. That's
Yeah.
what it is. It's not.
Well, like we say, if you're going to do something, do it well.
Absolutely. And these guys
Porn,
are. Porn's too much for me. I don't watch porn. I have to be honest.
No.
No, I don't watch porn because it's very graphic.
Yeah, you need a bit to the imagination.
I need a bit more imagination. Yeah.
Okay.
Black and white kind of film noir.
Well, fair. That's very artistic.
Imagination is the most sexy.
It is.
Thing,
the
right.
the thing that I'm most attracted to is a brain. The way a brain works.
Okay, you're one
So,
of those.
yeah, so
There's
I
a
get-
word for those people.
Yeah.
They're called sapiophiles.
Okay.
They
So
put
just
that on their profiles
Oh,
on
do they?
online dating. I'm interested in intelligence.
Brains.
Yeah,
if someone put that on, I'd definitely sort of avoid it.
and yet when you give them a plate of brains, they're not interested
Well,
anymore.
exactly.
Suddenly,
Invite them round for dinner. Oh, you like that, do you, darling? Well, here's some brains for
Right.
dinner. Oh, get out! Whoa, you thought you liked brains?
you can't have it both ways.
No, you can't. You can't say you like brains and then throw the brains off the table.
I think if you're going to put that you're a sapiophile on your profile, you've already dumbed yourself down enough to not be in that category anymore.
I think. Yeah, true.
And also stop choosing like new words and making them up to mean something like.
Yeah.
If you're attracted by intelligence, then don't
Just
be
say
on
that.
don't be on these sites. It's a good
Well, yeah.
idea for a start.
Why do humans have such faith in things that can't be proven?
Because we're five sensory beings.
Yeah.
Yet we know that the instruments that we have to measure these things are not they're not good enough, and we can't. We know that a dog can hear on higher frequencies. We know that we only see certain degrees of light. So we know that shit's going on around us. We just can't prove it. It's the same like this is the generation that's supposed to be ready to toss out their instruments and make way for new things. Like, it won't be long, we'll see. There's fucking things flying about us all the time, man. Sprites and
All sorts.
all sorts
of things just flying about.
The way I look at it, or the way I try to look at it, is if you think of it in the context of a fishbowl.
Yeah.
We're in a fishbowl. We just can't see the water, and that's the long and short of it. You can't see the air that you breathe, but you know that it's having an effect on the fucking solid world around you.
We can't prove much out there.
I don't think we were designed to, though, man. That's a bandwidth problem. If we took on more information, our heads would fucking explode.
Yeah, we just wouldn't be able to do anything.
cope. Well, I just don't think I struggle now coping on a fucking
Yeah, and you don't, you
with
don't
the
know half of
magnitude
it.
of existence. If I had any more of that fucking Pandora's box, it wouldn't be pretty, man.
Well, the washing up wouldn't get done for a start.
It rarely does now, if I'm honest.
Well, exactly.
Only when I've got guests. Dave.
Only got people coming around for a podcast.
Thinking about this yesterday, washing up. The thing about it is, you keep having to do it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's
Wouldn't mind if
crazy,
it was
isn't
once or twice, but every time I eat, come
Well,
on.
what I struggle with is how much mess I've got all the time. I'm always washing. Mm-hmm. I'm always fucking cleaning my clothes. Why is that happening? I'm doing that every day. Maybe I've got
wasteful.
I've just got too much stuff.
I don't ever hardly wash my jeans.
I
Fashion
don't.
time.
No, I
I'll
won't.
have a 5 or 6 goes on them.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to wash jeans.
No, I don't think so.
As far as I'm aware,
Yeah.
cowboys wore jeans.
I never washed them.
Well, you couldn't be doing it. You didn't have a Zanussi with a tumble drying
No
facility
Bosch. No
on the
Bosch.
ranch. Nah,
Bosch is unavailable.
it ain't happening. So you've got to have a couple of days wear out of them.
Yeah, definitely.
I think a bit of
Jeans
dirt.
feel better anyway after a while.
Well, you say that, but these ones are from, I think I might have shoplifted these from Primark, and what they've got a tendency to do is lose the elasticity around the waist. So after I've washed them, they're good to go.
What
But I
they
don't
like if
really
you
have-
don't nick them? If you don't nick them, do they last longer?
That's like if no one's around, but you chop a tree down, does it make a sound?
That's true.
I don't know.
No,
But-
it doesn't because you can't. You got to receive the sound.
Agreed. But the point being is, I have one go on these, and then the next day I put them on, they're getting a bit loose around the waist.
Right.
By day 3, they're falling around my ankles.
So you like them to be skinny as possible.
What I'd really like is for them to be Levi's, because I think they'd probably have a bit more resistance and
Yeah.
a bit more resilience. But having considered these were made by Filipino children.
They're
Probably.
doing all right.
They're hanging in there. They were free. Better than walking around with giblets out.
It depends. If you want
Time and
Levi's, I recommend go to a vintage shop, vintage clothes shop. You pick up really nice Levi's for about 30 quid.
Do you know David O'Doherty?
Yes,
Of course you do.
D-O-D.
So
Great.
he has this skit where he says that he goes into a Levi shop and tells him that he's a 32 waist with a 30 leg, and the guy in there goes, "No, that just doesn't happen." And he's like, "Well, no, it does, because that's what I am." And the guy goes, "No, that doesn't happen." That's my story. Like, cool body, but for like Middle Earth.
Right, okay.
Like big top half,
Torso,
tiny legs.
Yeah. Strange.
6 foot.
Strange little man.
Top half's like 7 foot. It's weird. It's very weird.
But anyway, back to why people
believe in
got-
something.
yeah.
Because it's
'Cause
intrinsic.
they can't prove it.
Because it's intrinsic. We know there's a knowing.
There's some conscious thought that just make you believe in things.
It's always
that
been
can't
that
prove.
since day dot. There's always been more. There's more to be unveiled. Obviously, we're not in a point, in the evolution of humanity where we can do that.
We don't know anything basically.
Well, fuck all, man. Caveman.
5% of matter in the universe, we know what it is. 5 times that is dark matter. We don't know what that is. 25%, and then there's 75% dark energy that we don't know what
Infinite shit, to the point where me and you sitting here means fuck all. Do you know the way I quantify it is like, if you consider that we're all, as human beings, synapses or synapses in a one giant mind.
Yeah.
I think the idea is that we're all supposed to reach the point of like spiritual evolution where we realise that money's fucking ridiculous and we're hurting each other. And then once we turn the tide, once enough people sort of become part of that spiritual evolution, then more will be revealed.
Yeah, that's the next evolution.
But whether we get there, I
Revolution.
just don't think we will, because I think it's too late. But then, do you know, I often wonder how many times in the past has humanity got to this point now?
Yeah,
before
right.
it has to reset and start all over again.
Like, it gets to a really complex point where it's all, so many
Critical
factors,
mass.
and then it just falls apart.
Or it's, contract and then, implode, isn't it? That's the status of things. But it does fascinate me, man. I'll never... Do you know, the point is, I'll never know.
No.
Will I?
You can only
Until
keep
I-
trying to learn.
Mate, I live my life according to the principles that I believe in. Other people can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
man.
right. And it's about the beauty. I think some people would listen to this and other stuff, and not be able to handle it. But what I like the bliss of knowing it's a bit pointless.
Do you know what I've talked
I
about?
enjoy
Nihilism. Look, my friend's got this theory. He's an atheist and he's such a smart dude. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Ash George, by the way. But he's an atheist, and my mind cannot quantify that, because I think fundamentally we're two different people. I have to hope that there's hope.
Yeah.
Whereas he doesn't need that. He just thinks, make the most of it now.
Yeah,
and
right.
that's it, man.
That's
and I would
amazing.
love to be that way, but
Yeah.
my core beliefs are not that.
No.
I can't just forget what I believe and get on his train.
Yeah, everything for a reason is very true. It's very corny, I suppose, but it is actually true. Because so much stuff happens to me. There's so many coincidences that I think that can't be a coincidence.
I don't believe in
I
coincidence.
think you control everything.
I don't believe in coincidence. What I do think is that perhaps, I don't know about this part, but perhaps we signed up for specific lessons in this lifetime, and then we get born into circumstances that test that particular area.
Right.
And I hate to be like, when I look into Buddhism, I think, yeah, man, they know their shit. But then when I think about like, reincarnation, I don't like that idea. But the difference, I'd rather that, I suppose, than just be like some sort of conscious being
Yeah, right.
in the universe. But
That's
this is
mad.
all just temporary shit.
Yeah, right.
This form,
It's just
I see people like, including you and certain others, and I think I know you and I've known you before, and I don't know how.
Yeah, I
but
say that. I
there's
say
a
that all the
knowing.
time. I said that to Ella about you. Yeah, you just feel like you know somebody.
But that's
and
not.
you can't explain it, so you just go along with it.
I'd like to, like, what's the alternative, man?
No, well, just be a nihilist, but, a bit of ignorant bliss.
Well,
but-
do you know what? Like, you say that. I was thinking that today because you sent through the sort of topics, and I think, like, I would have to say, like, my main beliefs are that we're spiritual beings and that we're a conscious awareness. But then other days I do believe in nihilism. But
Yeah.
that is just a tiny degree of what.
Are they same sides, different sides of the same coin?
I think it matters not as long as you take advantage of your life on the planet. Don't matter whether you think that there's a fucking meaning to it or not. As long as you get what you want out of it, then who gives a shit, man?
Because the coin is basically this current life is pointless. So, well, it's not point, but it's got not much meaning, this current life, in my opinion. But when you start sort of investigating bigger ideas, you know, you can start to understand that the thing that humans are best at is just talking about the kind of thing we're talking about now. So nihilists believe in part of that coin that it's just totally pointless, and people with spiritual and open-mindedness, for a want of a better phrase, also believe that in a way also, because you believe that you're going to a different
I think the
form.
difference is possibly that spiritualism is you're more inclined to try to help people along the way, or try to be positive and be open to certain things, whereas if I was a nihilist full time and someone come up to me and said, have you thought about this principle, I'd be more inclined to think, fuck off, man, I'm having a whale of a time here.
Impossible to argue with a nihilist.
Well, and probably they'd look quite smug because they don't give a shit, which is a wonderful state of mind to be in. I worry too much. I'm so fucking anxious. Do you know what I mean? Like, but then again, like, I try and live my life to spiritual principles, and I think people mistake kindness for weakness all the time.
Definitely.
And we live in a consumer society where you've been taught to steal or beg or borrow, but take that from someone else. So if you're a nice person, you tend to get shit thrown your way. You've got to hope that in the long run,
you just learn to bat it off eventually.
What else can you do, man?
Even if it's only the last year of your life where you feel sort of like, oh God, I'm relaxed now. That's fine.
Took me, even still now, I'm only really starting to become like comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah, right.
I was
crazy,
uncomfortable for the first 35 years. Put it that way, man.
Yeah, right. That's amazing. But that's great, because a lot of people were never comfortable with that.
Yeah, but then I look at my uncle, who I'm pretty sure was dropped on his head as a child, and his main concern is, what am I having for tea?
Yeah, right.
Fish fingers.
Yeah,
happy.
Yeah,
Happy that way.
And both are fine, but I couldn't live like that.
Well, you don't have a choice, because you're a deep thinker, sir.
Yeah, and which is a bit of a fucking nightmare, really.
It's a blessing and a curse.
But also the best. What I like when I meet people like you, people like me, I suppose, just people that know and feel the spirituality in the world, but you're also, you can have a normal job as well. So you can like put that away. And that's a healthy feeling for me anyway.
I try to fight the practicalities of life. I still do, in terms of like living a traditional life, but you can't. Those are the rules of the game. Like you can't not be a practical person. There's things you have to do. You have to provide.
Obviously, just be homeless.
I was thinking today, do you know what I would really like to live on a kibbutz or a commune where like money ceases to be a thing, and we're just living off the land, and we're all sharing.
There's
just
no
to
reason
see how that would work.
No reason you can't do that.
Well, this is the thing, Dave. When you're talking about lack of, there is no such thing. There is enough abundance for everybody in this world. Problem is that some people are harvesting their own shit, and other people are dying because they ain't got nothing. Like, if we shared it all out, there's more than enough, man.
So tell us a bit about, me
Yes.
and the listeners a bit about what you're all about, what your company does.
What am I all about?
What's the philosophy behind your company?
I'm about having a T-shirt that says Sticky Finger Limited, and if you still don't get it, go fuck your mum.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense.
Encompasses the whole, like, I can try to dilute it or whatever, but the idea is that sorry man, not subscribing to the 9 to 5, not subscribing to what I can and can't do. You might fucking browbeat me eventually into submission to the point where I'm on my knees and I go, all right, I will give in, but I don't think so. So the idea with Sticky is that I've always loved music fucking so much, man, but when I used to be in a band until it became like really obvious that I was the weak link in that chain.
Right.
There's nothing for your insecurity than to be
finding
aware, or just being aware from the get-go that all of these people are much more talented than you naturally, but that you have a passion for something, which is what turned me onto music. But I always knew that I wasn't quite good enough to do it myself.
Right.
And I'm happy to like do my own bits and pieces, but the idea is fundamentally I knew at some point that I would bump into someone or some people that would have something to say. And it's been a long, like, Taboo, then the Kamari. I probably wouldn't even be doing fucking music management if it wasn't for like Jack Pike and all the rest of them.
Right.
But now I'm in it. I'm fucking kind of addicted to it because, like I said to you earlier, it's like a computer game, man. I want to play that shit.
Yeah, and it's such a
it's impossible.
big thing to try and accomplish. I wonder if, you say that you were the weak link in that band. I wonder if that, you know, like we were speaking earlier, was just perception of how you felt.
I think so.
Like your mum giving you the plimsolls that some kids would have think was great.
Do you know what I think? When I came home from the tube at 15, like panicking and going, I can't work it out. In another world, my mum would have dragged me back up there and gone, it's fucking simple, you dick.
You press this button.
Follow the line and then you ask someone. Do you know what I mean? But neither here nor there, because I honestly, I believe in like fate and timing, and I honestly do believe that the universe turns and moves and gives you the opportunity that you are good at. Like my skill set, Dave, is like, I was thinking about this the other day. If someone says to me, what's your skill? I'd go, talking, communicating with people. I'm thinking, that's not really a skill. Like if you put out a CV, you want this job, why? Because you're good at talking. Nah. But my role is like to act as a conduit between people that make music and those that want to hear music, I think. And I get so much satisfaction with working, say with Lanes, for example, working with Scotty and then working with them as a band and having a hand in what they're doing. And then they put their first single out and they're kind of like water for ducks back. Oh, sweet, it's going really well. And mate, I want to shake him and go, fucking, do you know how long I would have given to get that quote off that person? You fucking wake up. But the idea is that for me, it's like confirmation that, all right, you're going against the grain of what you should be doing, but the results that I'm getting are like, I don't know. All I want to do, man, is give people decent music to listen to, and if that's, you know, if I can do that full time, and that's what the universe has in store, then marvelous. If I do have to go back to a 9-to-5 job, I just hope it's one that doesn't make me want to kill myself and set fire to others.
But also, even if you do have to do that, you can still keep doing it. I think you just get a load of knockbacks on the way, and you just have to keep pushing through and with the positivity.
Do you know what I found? When I was in a band, I was so self-conscious of promoting myself. And I don't have that when I'm a manager.
No, right.
Well, so I've got no shame.
That's a thing. So what I find with creating whatever, with music, with doing this, with taking photographs, you don't want to
push it, baby.
Well, you just feel with creativity, I just always feel it's not good enough.
Yeah, like, but everybody thinks that. As a musician, that's something I struggle with all the time, is that they'll go, that could be better, this could be better, wait till we've done this. As an objective person, I have to say to these people, what you have to understand is the people that you are selling this to don't even know how to play a fucking chord, man. They're not going to know that should be a reverse guitar solo on that part. And we're entrenched, especially when it's personal, Dave, and I feel like this with you in your music as well, that you're such a humble person, probably, or modest, maybe a little bit insecure, don't know, but it's so difficult to push yourself as your own artist.
Yeah, right.
Whereas as a manager, I ain't got that shame, because
because you just push the
ain't my
the
shit.
art,
I'm not being judged. I don't care if you like it. If you don't like it, you're a dick.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fair.
Whereas if you don't like it and it's my stuff,
yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, just a bit.
I wonder if I think maybe I get stuck in the trap of saying I don't care what someone thinks about it, but I actually do. But I can't work that out. I can't tell you what's true and what's not.
You know more than what you know the truth, mate, in your heart of hearts. What fucking bamboozles me, and I'll tell you this now, is that when I listen to someone like you who is super talented, and then there's me like knocking up 3 chords that ain't even ringing clean, bro, is that it kills me when I see someone who's talented and they don't push it. And you made a good point earlier, and it was like, do I really want to do that, or is it like a bugbear or whatever, or have I got other priorities? If you're making music and you can put the guitar down and go, I'm happy with that, then you don't need to push it.
No, yeah,
maybe.
Fair. Yeah, I think that's probably it. Yeah, I could do it for now anyway. Who knows? Like, you know, something might click and I'll go.
But then you say that, and then you're the person that told me that the only thing that we leave behind is our art.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
If no one hears it, motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah. See, I've got the only thing that lives on is art. That is true, but there is also part of me that also thinks, you know what, if no one hears that, you know, that's quite beautiful as well
in itself. And I like
just to be there.
The only songs that I write are only ever for my children, and what I would really hope is that at some point they uncover some buried fucking time treasure chest where they go, shit, this had that stuff, and they listen to it and they go, fuck, he was Jim Morrison basically. Like, I don't give a shit if anyone else listens to it, do you know what I mean? But I was thinking about this the other day, like, validation is such a weird one, because you don't want to seek it because it's needy and it's weak to seek validation. But then when you get validation, it's like, I knew I was onto something, man.
Yeah,
like, I think with music personally, if you've got something to say it, and if it reaches one person, then Like I took recently to putting up videos on my own personal Insta where I'll just play a random little bit of thing that I've written, and I think I don't give a shit.
I think that's really cool. Yeah,
but I think if one person hears that and goes, "Oh man, that really resonates with me," I'm like, "Alright, well, the universe obviously fucking made me do it."
Yeah, I think what I think I like the idea of is if you know, in 30 years, where I mean we'll probably still know each other.
I'd hope so. I'd like to think so.
I think
well,
so.
I don't even like to think so. I know that's true.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. So that what I like the idea of that is you've met people during that time that you don't know anymore, but they'll still say, you know what, that Bobby, he was there that day and he said that. You know, that's important.
It's like I said to you earlier, Dave. Like we're all dead and gone. So all I can hope for is when people. I came off Facebook for about a year, or I'll probably bullshit. It might be 3 months. It felt like a year, but. Leaving it, you think, I don't really miss anyone. And when you go back to it, no one really causes a fanfare. So you think to yourself, in the grand scheme of things, how many people do I affect on a day-to-day basis? 3, 4, 5? That's all you can do is be the change you want to see in the world. I'm not Justin Bieber, man. I'm not going to have a skinhead and then 2 million people go nuts. And I would like that to be the case, you know what I mean? But what I would also like to think is that I would love to think that in 30 years people could be sitting here listening to this on some dusty fucking cassette tape over some sort of resistance broadband fucking airwaves where they go, shit, these guys knew the coup before it went down. Do you know what I mean? Or at least that they were pushing buttons. Yeah,
that's what I hope. Yeah, that's exactly... Yeah, just doing that, having conversations and getting it out there. That's what I currently feel is what I need to do. Yeah, and also
earlier as
not only that,
but music does that though, Dave.
Of course, music does that. Yeah,
but what you do is, and like you'll be all modest mouse and that, and go, but you write music that's got an actual fucking message, and that's what I love about Lanes as well, and that's what I'm invested in. Is that you're writing tunes where if you listen to it, you'd go, this geezer's actually saying something, man. And my friend Jamie's got this thing. He says, like, he's on the Insta nutty, like, every fucking 15 seconds. And he said, it ain't now, Bob. In 6 years, you'll be wondering... Now you wonder why I do this. In 6 years, you'll go, that's why he's done it. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I would like to hope, is that at some point or another, there is an avenue where...
You can make
whatever you want to say, Dave, is listened to. Or that there'd be someone that goes, yeah, fuck me, like...
Yeah,
that makes sense to me.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the important thing. Yeah, just trying to do something with meaning. That's it. Yeah.
Well, unless you're Deepak Chopra or Russell Brand or Eckhart Tolle, you've got more chance of burning your ass on a snowball. Because no one ain't gonna give a shit.
That's
when
true.
I say, I said this thing the other day, and it killed me. It's got about 2 likes on Insta. I said, strikes me that when they made concrete, if they just put a little bit of colouring in that, pastel colours. Blue or pink.
It would have been a lot nicer.
When we looked around, we go like, oh, and it's nice.
It's like Balamory.
And it's nice. I feel happy. But what do I know? Because I've got 6 GCSEs. Do you know what I mean? No one ain't going to give a shit what I say. But if they'd done that fucking 50 years ago...
Cool, it would be more colourful.
Well, it's that same argument. Drunk people would start a fight. Stone people would start a band.
Yeah.
I think if things were pink and pastel blue, people might not want to punch each other in the face.
I think it's probably quite an easy change that could have affected the world. Yeah.
It's difficult... It becomes difficult when you look at grey tower blocks on grey streets on dab grey days and think these are just cages to build on top of one another where the poor can live. Slipping through social groups like people don't even notice.
Like a little snake.
Just a bit. A snake that's killing people.
I mean, a snake is probably a little bit of a understatement.
Mate, I don't think a snake's that dangerous.
No, true.
Numbers are frightening as well.
Mate, I know.
He was talking like triple digits at one point.
Well, the thing is about mass murder. Is that a good way to start?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of organising.
And also, but the thing, it does. I mean, there's a lot happening there to sort. Is there though? Because you don't have to necessarily organise it. If you want to get away with it, organise.
If it's premeditated, you would have try and have a look at all bases.
Dot the I's, cross the T's.
It's paperwork. The devil's in the detail.
Admin, a lot of admin.
A lot of admin.
And you know what? That's probably Ted Bundy sort of done all right for what he was trying to do.
He's a leader in his field.
He is, yeah.
Put it that way.
He is.
Like, I might not agree with his field.
No.
He was good at what he did.
I'm going nowhere near that field.
I'm trying to keep away from it, especially if I'm a young female.
I'm trying. I like that. I'm trying to keep away.
Trying, man.
Doing my best. Mate, the Bundy.
Is it in the Is it in the bag?
The Bundy's in the bag.
Fair play them. I'm happy. Happy with that. It's always worth pressing record. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I just think, should we just stop now and put that out?
Because it's a message.
It's got meaning.
And it comes from a wholesome place.
Well, yeah.
Don't murder people.
Yeah, don't.
Is
the message.
It's the underlying message.
Under the ironicism. Is that a word?
I love it. I'm going to start using it. Ironicism. The idea being is if you are going to savagely murder a lot of people, just do it well.
Yeah.
Like anything in life.
Execute it well. Excuse the pun.
Chopping off heads. I love it. That's all it takes is a little bit of
thought.
A little bit of fucking, a little bit of application.
Yeah, now.
It ain't about just losing your shit in Asda and beheading someone. My mate used to say this. He said, Bob, like, if you think about it, we're all just working on the basis of trust. I could stand up now and stab you. Yeah. You're just accepting that I'm not going to do that. No. And if there were consequences, they would come afterwards. Yeah. I've already stabbed you. So we're all just relying on the basis.
He hasn't stabbed me yet, if you're listening, if you're wondering.
No,
not yet.
I would never. Well, I abhor violence in all of its forms.
Yeah. But unless it's done well.
There's an art to life, man. You can't, say that there isn't.
I could never. Do you know what I want to say? I think about the Queen a lot, but that is not true.
Sexy thought. Why am I thinking that's a sexy thought? Okay, what are your views on that?
So I just think.
Because there's two sides, isn't there?
I wonder what it would be like to be a part of the royal family, and I think I'd be embarrassed about it.
I would, yeah, but that's because you're socially aware.
But that's the problem. When you try and evaluate issues, you come at it from your own perspective, so it's very difficult. But I just feel like they must have thought...
They should be ashamed, really.
They must think, this is weird.
It must be dog shit. Imagine being Harry, like, okay, I'm a prince, but every day I've got to do this royal engagement. Yeah. It's a bogus life. Yeah. I was thinking about this as well the other day, like... This is why I can't get on board with psychology, is because it's all theory, right? There's no definitive answer. But the argument is, if a baby is born and put in a drawer or a box, that's all that baby knows. Yeah. If a baby's brought up and treated like a fucking king, it will think it's a king. So those people can't get onto the perception of others like me and you, because that's all they've known. Hopefully, when Harry was a kid, he was driving around Buckingham Palace in a little fucking go-kart. Hopefully. And good for him. Yeah. But I would like to think he, out of the lot of them... is the one that realises how ridiculous it all is.
I think so. I think.
Is there any need for them?
No.
Exactly.
I don't think so. The only thing is...
Should we not be using that big house for all the homeless people? Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know. I want it. I want that bit of the house.
Have you ever seen King Ralph? I'd like a little go at it.
I like a little bit.
I'd get bored.
Yeah. I wouldn't. It'd be great. No, but I think... Apparently... But this is just the thing you're told. So the royal family enables us to... Yeah, they make money. I always question that. I just think, oh God, do they? I think people would still go and look at the palace anyway.
I would. I'd be more inclined.
Yeah.
I think it's weird that people can go there when they live there.
Yeah, imagine that. Just people coming out here. Well, they probably will be when this is out.
Having a look, yeah.
When this podcast is out, there'll be people flocking.
It's like when I used to watch documentaries about Oasis and people go to like Burnage, their first house, and like just look around. Like, what are you trying to like? Inhale the essence of the Gallagher brothers by like looking at their old council house. Like.
Weird, isn't it?
I would
like in Liverpool, like people go and look at the street where
Cavern Club,
and people still live there.
They do,
and they're trying to put their
got
bins
a little blue sign on the thing.
Please go away.
Yeah, that sign means that your house is basically like an open house policy. People are just going to walk in.
That's crazy, isn't it?
I think so, but. In terms of like the royal family, no, we don't need them, man. No. Don't be horrible to them. Pension them off.
Yeah, Or just get them involved.
Just give them $1 million, $2 million. Send them on a little island. Just say like, we're going to phase you out now. Like, we're done with that. We need that gaff, to be honest. There's a lot of people homeless. So
we can sell a lot of the shit in it as well.
A lot of it. I've heard they've got nice stuff.
Yeah, apparently there's a few nice sofas in there. Chez
Lounge and jewellery. Better than H. Samuels.
Lots.
Better than H. Samuels.
A gold piano.
Fuck off. See, that's just piss take.
That is piss take.
That's what I'm saying.
When she addresses the nation in that massive hat,
taking the piss.
Yeah, but the thing I like about that is I watch that and I just think that's weird.
It's surreal, but if you apply it to like the times when a royal family was important or a king was important to lead a court and then beyond that. There ain't even the thrill of them being stabbed or someone killing them or their son killing them or betraying them. Like at least it used to have some value.
Yeah.
No, it's just it's a joke. It's like
bread and circuses.
Smoke and mirrors is what it is. I heard that like government has to go to the Queen and say like we want to do this. Is that okay? But I'm not sure.
I don't know if that's right or not. It's just
mate,
that's
none of
all.
it's right.
That's all just an act, though, isn't it? It's like an illusion.
It's not reality.
But I don't want us to leave the European Union. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that's just that's just an act as well. It's like look at how complex it is, and it is complex. There's loads of factors and like millions of different things that happen that mean you can't change politics, etc. But it is complicated, but it is also quite a simple life.
Do you know what I realised the other day? And I'll just be honest. I reside to be honest. So I was in court not so long ago, and I was looking around, and I've had this about bureaucracy for a while now, and I look around and I see it all just as a facade. It's all bollocks. There are people walking around with clipboards, judges, other people working in the court, and it's all just a facade to make money go around.
Yeah,
this
right.
person needs a job, so we're going to have this process where this person goes to court all day long, then we call him, then we tag him, then someone comes around and check, and it's all just bollocks. It's all just a construct, man.
And the reason
ridiculous.
for that is to make it feel untouchable.
Whatever it's control, isn't it? Fundamentally, but the point being is that it's all a ruse. If I got arrested and taken to court, right, and they sentenced me to life, and then everyone in that court went, "No, we don't agree," and stood up and went, "No, we're not going to let you take him," and just refused to let them take me down to the cells, system would fall apart.
Yeah, it would.
It's an illusion. There's more of us than there are of them.
That is a metaphor for society anyway.
But we don't ever, because it's a subterfuge. It's oppressed, isn't it? Like,
just want to go back and watch EastEnders and eat my beans.
Right. Cold beans if you're a student.
I can't even be asked to eat them up sometimes.
I've ate a lot of scrambled eggs lately because it's just so easy to do.
And
bacon
also
sandwich or 4 minutes. Right?
Yeah.
There's value in that.
Yeah, a bit of scrambled eggs, son. I won't worry about that. You're doing well.
I'm trying. That's all I'm doing is I'm trying. Progression pot noodle. You can't have my perception. I can't have yours.
Yeah,
so
you can't. So you don't.
believe what you want, man. Like whatever helps you get through the day.
David Icke.
Doesn't help that he was a goalkeeper back in the day. He's now become... But
the thing about
if
that...
If Jesus had a crisp packet on his head, he would have been a pervert. You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
I just think...
Imagine we look back and go, fucking hell, David Icke was right.
You know when you just feel...
John Connor, he was right. Like, David Icke.
I just feel... David Icke says a lot of mad stuff, but it says a lot for how the media and public opinion is shaped by the media, really, and the establishment. Because I feel like David Icke's mad now. If somebody said,
well,
"What's
that's
David?"
that's the preconceived idea that you've got is absolutely
mad.
right. So I had this opinion of Bono, where someone said Bono, and I think, what a prick.
Yeah,
and then when I examine that, I've got no evidence to support that. I've never listened to any interviews or a conversation. Never really delved into his music, but the narrative is he's a prick. So I'm going to think he's a prick.
He's a prick. Yeah, it's like an urban myth.
I caught myself saying, well, it's the message, the narrative. I was talking to Scotty Kerwin. I was like, he's a prick, and I thought, I don't even know why I'm saying that.
No.
I'm conditioned to believe that.
Yeah, and
it's
why?
Not fair.
What's Bono done?
Well, right, because it's like the narrative. Like anyone that wins the general election in this country will be backed by the Sun newspaper.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, right.
Anyone that's ever won the election in the US has been backed by the campaign that has the most funds behind it. Simple as that. Ram things into enough people's faces and that will become history.
Yeah, you say enough things over and over again, it becomes true.
People will believe it, and that's sad. I hate to sort of go into this because it sounds like I'm trying to be more than or whatever, but a lot of people are happy to be ruled and to be sheep and to be told what to do.
Because it's comfortable.
I learned that from... the Avengers yesterday. Loki said, you want to be on your knees. You want to be like shepherded almost.
Yeah, right.
I just think people find it comfortable. Like, come on, mate. Like, if you believe what you're told, you're fucking insane.
Yeah, I think it's just because imagine if all the truths come out of all the, everything came out and you got a big book published of all the stuff that's true. The people would not be able to function, so society would just fall
Collapse.
apart.
Absolutely.
So that's why we do sort of need that a bit until we can get to that part in history where we can overlap and take over and help people out.
I think the difficulty is like if you look, I think Russell Brand was the closest in terms of like speaking up and getting a movement going or being involved in that. And even he said, I don't know enough about this, so I'm going to have to go away and educate myself.
Yeah.
Because he was saying don't vote. Well, what's the alternative? I don't know.
No.
The problem being is that, and I don't know, I'm not a Marxist, I'm not a communist, I'm not a capitalist. I'm fucking not a capitalist because that system does not work. But the idea for me being is that we are all fed shit from a small percentage of people who are in power and they want to keep it that way.
Yeah.
That I believe and I wholeheartedly. It reminds me of Family Guy when he's like, there's a little mice character and he goes, "Don't show them how to read."
Yeah.
Don't show the peasants how to read,
because they'll find
the truth, mate.
Yeah.
And that's the same as like every story. Or there's too many of us born into being like drones, man.
Yeah.
My friend described it. Even when I was working in an office, he's saying you're going down the mine. You're just data mining, rather than coal mining or whatever. But it's the same process. You're there to make someone else money.
Yeah.
And that's not how I want to live my life, man. I'm not here to make someone else money.
No, definitely, yeah. You just
fucking help with it.
Yeah, lying in someone else's pockets. The thing is, like, I think as long as you're not getting fucked over, you're probably doing all right.
When we're signing up for food fucking banks, we are getting fucked over.
Yeah,
man.
well,
We've been fucked over for a long time.
That's the problem. You know, if you're not directly fucked over,
and that's the point.
Then people, and so there's a lot of
just
people.
Close your mind to it, Dave. It ain't happened to me.
Yeah. So
Southend, look at Southend, the homeless problem.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, it's ridiculous.
You become immune to it, though. You walk past people thinking, or how about this for conditioning? Walk past a homeless person and go, "Oh, he's a skaghead, or he's a drunk."
And that's not true.
Not the case.
No.
Stop in there 5 minutes, man.
And not only judging
mental health
homeless
problems.
Yeah, mental health problems.
Prisons.
And maybe not even anything wrong with them.
Mate, prisons. 75% of people in prison are mentally ill. They have to be to do what they did.
To do what they did.
It ain't about putting them away somewhere. It's about fucking educating these people.
Yeah, and also prison. Nick Ferrari in LBC does my head in, but I do listen to him a lot because I like to get a different perspective.
I can't listen to LBC, I like the idea that you want to get a different perspective.
You know, he's an older guy with like a bit of a right view. He's like, well, he probably thinks he's quite liberal, but he's not. So I forgot where I was going with
prison.
this. So
he's reform.
He speaks about prison. Somebody rang up the other day and they said, the idea of prison is to help people get better. And he's like, no, it's not. It's to punish. Yeah. And that is just wrong. It should be to help people through that and come out and not reoffend and, become a normal person. There's some people, I read an article, people have been in prison for 35 years, never even seen an iPhone. So how you got to train people?
My mate's due to come out after being inside. When he was 17, he got convicted, life imprisonment. He came out on open day release. Yeah. And he walked to a shopping centre. Yeah. He waited for the guy that he was with to open the door because he was so institutionalised that he was not used to walk into a door and open it. That's crazy. So he'd walk to the door and just stand there. His life, I wouldn't mind. It's either one or the other. You're trying to rehabilitate people or you're trying to punish them. Yeah. It's one of the two. But don't bullshit me and say it's on there's some crusade if it's not. If you're talking about funding, you ain't there to help people. No, you're not. What you're trying to do is, again, it's that subterfuge, man. Scotty Cohen, he said to me, when in nursery a kid stands up or he's being loud and the teacher's natural response is sit down, be quiet. Yeah. Here's a colouring book. He said you should be encouraging them kids to go. Yes, say something. Find your voice. Let's give you a role within this group. That's leadership.
That's interesting. Yeah,
it is interesting because, and that is the thing with your kid. Stop crying. What the fuck? Yeah. Let him. He's upset. Let him cry. What the fuck?
Yeah, because that's damaging. Yeah, if you've got a son, and a dad would try and stop their kid from crying. Well, that's very damaging to society.
For your own benefit, though.
That breeds toxic masculinity, or whatever you want to call it.
As long as you cut out the noise because your kid was being noisy.
Well,
what
the
fuck?
That's true. You want to watch telly,
right? Corrie's on, bitch. Yeah, I don't care if you're being bullied. Sort it out yourself. Yeah. No, but do you know what I mean? Though, 100%. Come on, you say to a kid, "Oh, if you come up there, you'll fall and split your head open." Yeah. No, they won't. They'll fall off. Worst case, break their arm, and then go, "I'm not going to do that again." Yeah. Rather than have a generation of people too scared to go out their front door
to do anything. Yeah,
anything, man.
And it breeds anxiety. That's the main reason there's so much anxiety. But then that's what it's
about, man. That's what they want. They want you docile. They want you on these happy pills, man.
Do you think that the establishment, whatever that is, wants that, or is that, like a natural progression from capitalism that breeds that?
Capitalism is the problem.
It's not the people, is it?
It's the people within the system, because capitalism is a system that doesn't work. You only have to look at America. That country is a fucking joke. I put up a long status the other day about it, and it was laughable. The values that they're formed on, what they did, raping and pillaging, then selling it back to themselves, consumerism and all the rest of it is all bollocks. It's a system that's built on not real things. I'm going to give you a credit card. It's not called a credit card. It's called a debt card.
Yeah.
Go and spend money on it. Then you owe us the
Charge
money.
to me.
Whoa! Stop there. No, they've got you already. Like, it's a system that's built to benefit the few and not the many.
I just want fairness.
I think a lot of people do, man.
And I just want more stuff to be shared out. As simple as that. And I just question. Maybe it's just my good nature, and I just trust people too easily. But I just think, is it the people in power that want you to be anxious? Is it people in power? Do they consciously think this is what we want?
I think they'll stamp on you like an ant. Like, you're a spreadsheet. Right? I thought about this before. When a child or a teenager or an adolescent starts to make murmurs that they want to be involved in government, they should have a psychological test.
Yeah.
Because that involves being a sociopath. It's sociopathical to want to control people like that because you're making decisions that are life and death and you don't give a shit because it doesn't affect you. And that's how we're bred. As long as I'm alright, Jack, pull the fucking ladder up. Like, that's wrong, man. It never used to be like that.
No, well, I just wonder, has it always been like that?
I think it's so, but at least we had a sense of community before.
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas everyone was in the same boat. Now what the narrative is, hate that geezer because he's a Muslim, you hate him because he's Irish.
Yeah.
No.
It's all the same thing.
It's all the same, mate. You're oppressed.
Yeah, it's just oppression. I just think, I still question whether David Cameron thinks I'm going to fuck all over these people in this area and I want to do it for my own gain. I don't.
I think so.
Do you think that?
Yeah, because he came from Eton, which means, here's an idea if they don't feel that way. Ian Duncan Smith, who brought in universal credit, right? I worked in housing benefit for a long time.
Yeah.
That system was fucked. But what he did is he brought in a system for billions and billions of pounds, which is dog shit, unimplementable, absolute dog shit, and a pure ego fucking driven idea from him. When it got to 10 million, 20 million, over budget, over time, people should have said, no, shut that down, man. If you'd have given that cunt 75 quid a week and told him to live on a council estate for 3 months, I'm pretty sure he would have scrapped that idea.
Yeah, right.
But you ain't never going to have that experience, man. Because
it's just they're so detached, so they're making decisions on
fairy tale.
Yeah, just made up stuff, like pretending they know. The thing, I was listening to Joe Rogan, like we was talking about earlier, and Darren Brown, or was it Darren Brown or Brian Cox? Can't remember, but he said there's nothing wrong with saying you don't know stuff. Like, why people are just pretending that they know stuff all the time.
Mate, that's my blag. It has been since day dot. Like, pretend that you know it all, and then if you say it with enough conviction, people will believe you. Yeah, that's not the.
But when it's people's lives, it's fine when you're trying to get somewhere in the music industry or you're trying to make a few.
Even then, it's not really all right.
No, I guess not. It's not morally all right. But you know, I think if you blag it, you get the chance, and you deserve the chance, I suppose. But it's totally different to controlling people's money.
Well, this is it. How could you have that level of narcissism where you think I'm the right geezer to make these decisions?
Yeah, weird.
I fucking struggle to think if I put the right t-shirt on that day.
Yeah, weird.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm hardly going to sit there and think I'm definitely the guy that should be deciding that these people have to wait 12 weeks for their money.
Yeah,
like,
fucking crazy.
When the fuck do you sit back and go, hang on, man, I've got this wrong, or come on?
And why can't?
There's no humanity, Dave. There's no humanity left in the world. There ain't.
Democracy is just an admission that we don't know what to do.
Well, you're just looking to someone else to tell you the way. The problem is these cunts ain't got a fucking. No one's done Brexit before. We don't know what we're doing. No. I don't know what I'm doing on a daily basis, man. I'm just trying to do my shit the best I can.
Yeah.
And try and look after the many, not the few. If you try and do the best for the greater good, then you should be all right. When Theresa May, she was part of Remain, it all went to shit. They said, do you want a job, but you'll have to see Brexit through? She said yes.
She went, yeah.
She compromised her principles.
Yeah,
if she was a principled person, she would have said, no way, man. This is my belief, and that's that.
Yeah, and they ain't.
She gave that up on the very day she took the job, which means I ain't never going to take her seriously because she's a fucking liar and a fly-by-night. And
mate, and even people. Well, she said that it will compromise our security.
I don't know enough. I'm so ignorant about so many things. I don't know enough, right? But what I do know is this: they don't want Brexit. But even now they're talking on. I don't watch the news, and I saw a little snippet the other day, and they're saying, "Should we have another referendum?" Sorry, man, that's done. If you're talking about democracy, it's done. Stop talking about whether we should or whether we shouldn't. It's done. So then do the best for the future with the information that you've got.
And what you gave us.
at the time, man. Like, if you wanted to do a better job, you should have done a better job.
Part of me thinks, please, let's have another reference. Stop the madness. Let's not do it. But then the other part.
You think it'd be that bad?
I'm just worried I'm more worried about the social, the way it have
implications across Europe,
society, and
I think
people's opinion.
A lot of other countries will follow suit. You know,
maybe, yeah.
I think so.
And then the other part of me thinks, well, you know what? You fucked it up, so you have to do it now.
The thing is, if you call a referendum, the people have spoken. That Sean Locke, I think, says people over 60 or 70 shouldn't have a vote because it's not your future.
No.
That's kind of funny.
I think it's funny and
There's
true.
a lot of truth in it. My friend Bill from Lanesy says, no, but then people have contributed all their life. But by the same token, yeah, do you know what I mean?
If people up to 18 can't decide their future, the 70-year-old shouldn't be allowed.
Mate, they can't even drive. I saw someone waving as they was fucking going across a lane the other day. Like, old people can't be trusted.
No.
But the thing is that it's done. You called it on those terms. It happened to solidify your power, man.
Well, it was only to win votes of UKIP.
And it did not work.
No.
It was a horrendous choice to make. But you're dealing with... It's uncharted territory, so fuck it, man.
Anything could happen.
But then I think if that's the case, then just embrace it. Like, acceptance is the end of suffering. If it's going to happen, do it well.
Yeah.
Same with Ted, man. Going back
Same
to
with
Ted.
Ted.
If you're going to do it well.
But they haven't done it fucking well.
It's like if you're playing football, going to a tackle half-heartedly, you're going to break your leg.
Yeah,
if you go in thinking you're going to win the tackle, you'll come out all right. Like, don't go into it like a wet lettuce. Like,
well, that is true, yeah. But it's like the whole campaign and everything was just based on lies and things that weren't possible. It's going to be the easiest deal in history.
But that's life
Don't say
itself.
that.
But that's the narrative we're sold. Man.
And now they pretend they didn't say that. That's what they should say.
Oh, but they had a bus though, so it's okay.
Well,
they had
that's
a bus,
That's
and
true.
it had stuff on the side.
Yeah, well, there was things written up there.
That's all people need. There's a bus. Okay,
It says shit up there.
Done.
Oh, it says things.
It says remain so.
If it says it on a fucking bus,
it's
true.
on a bus.
There's no way you can get something on a bus and it not be true.
Right? So it must be true.
And that's just a fact.
It's on a bus, people. That's 6 foot. They went to a print place and done that.
That costs money to put that on there.
So that's true then. So believe that.
Let's try and do the quickest advert ever. This podcast is sponsored by Vocal Zone, which is a throat pastel company. It's basically a throat pastel that soothes your voice, keeps you nice and smooth. Slow down a bit. They also do teas. They've got various flavours like myrrh and mint, red sage and fennel, and lemon, ginger and manuka leaf. And they're bloody delicious and they really work. They keep you smooth in the old voice. Enter a code onto their website, which is VZNoStress19, VZNoStress19, onto their product code thing, and you'll make me look good.
It takes so long to reverse or put in place legislation that by the time you try and reverse it, it's game over.
Yeah.
AI has already killed us. It's happened, mate. That's my view. You can't stop a fucking freight train. That's what's happened. What concerns me is it art imitating life or life imitating art? Because if you watch the original like Total Recall, when you saw it back in the day, TV screens on the wall, mind blown. What the fuck? Now it's the norm.
Just every day.
But we all know the narrative and the road it's going down, yet we're still doing it. Like,
but I think the hope there is that we get to a stage where we can use that for our own game.
That was going to be my point. Is when you're talking about like laws for people that then are used by the state. The idea is that Elon says that everybody should have like control over AI. It's not going to work that way because companies control governments, and they always have had. So they're going to be the ones that decide what is right and what is wrong. We don't have a fucking clue. We ain't got a say. Like, no one gives a fuck what we're talking about.
No, they don't. They don't. I think not at the moment. Anyway, you just hope that it gets to the stage where AI is used for a positive thing, but that's never going to happen.
Have you watched that Elon Musk with Joe Rogan?
I haven't yet. But that's next on the list.
He says that we're already cyborgs because that is the amalgamation between human and computer.
Yeah.
Our phones are an extension of ourselves. Therefore, we are cyborgs already.
Yeah.
He says that it's a bandwidth problem and we can't take in as much info as the machines want us to.
Yeah.
But they're going to bridge that gap with virtual reality. So how much of our lives is going to spend in a simulation and all the rest of it? And the best that we can hope for is to have some sort of symbiotic relationship with the machines where we increase our ability to fucking, I don't know, fly or beat disease or all the rest of it. That's the best case scenario.
Worst case
is that the machines look and go, that's a cancer. Humanity's a cancer. Like,
yeah.
we're just going to wipe that shit out like a virus.
That's
Like,
Brian Cox on the other side of that said that we're far away from that happening.
From AI.
From that AI controlling us.
You say that.
He says but the thing is, if something gets so intelligent, it can develop itself and just
there's
become,
the danger.
Yeah.
Do you know they said the Turing test was that, like the Alan Turing test was that when someone has a conversation with a bot and doesn't know that they're conversing with a bot, you've gone too far, shut it down.
Yeah, right.
We passed that long time ago.
I was thinking about something in the car today, like when I was on the way here, stuck on the M25, and I just thought, oh my God, they could actually clone your personality, and you could be installed onto a piece of software. So when you die, people would be able to have a talk with you, and that's
you
not
would
far
live
away.
on. You would live. It would be. But that's the whole quest of humanity, is it not? To live immortality.
Yeah, right.
Because we want to cheat death.
Yeah.
The only way you're going to do that is by uploading your fucking memory bank to a hard drive.
Yeah, right.
Sweet.
And it's Black Mirror stuff, but that's
that's sweet. If you want to do that,
I think so. And I think then you could actually develop you as a person, but you're already dead.
I love the idea of like the next. Like I was reading this Eckhart Tolle. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but his idea is that in evolution there comes a stage where it takes a leap. So, you know, you go from walking to standing to fucking swimming.
Yeah.
Or the birds, they just sprout feathers and flew. They didn't jump, they started flying. So there has to be a leap in evolution. Mm-hmm. Naturally, like, we will use fucking machines to expand our capabilities.
Yeah.
If I didn't have this body, I don't have to die, man. I can be a pretty sweet Terminator if I'm honest.
If they figure out a way that you can be installed onto something and then explore the atmosphere.
But Dave, the point being is that we've already lost humanity now, so I ain't gonna have no fucking emotions when I'm inside a fucking cyborg, am I?
Maybe they'll find out what consciousness is, and they'll be able to. It's a tangible thing.
That's the key, man. Like, to find out why above everyone else, we're the only ones that are consciously aware of ourselves.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And what is that?
What's the purpose?
They don't know. We don't know what that is.
I like to believe it is spiritual evolution and spiritual, growth and all the rest of it. But if you look at
I think there's just so much we don't know, and the dark energy that you think, God, some of that could be something to do with spirituality.
it has to be. How else?
How can you not explain that?
If I meditate, right, I can meditate, and then when I come back into the room, I've been on Undi, man, for 20 minutes, an hour. I ain't been in my body. I haven't been there. That other place is, I'm sure, valid and real. But how many people are going to sit there and meditate when I've got fucking, Corrie to watch?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm late, and I need to put dinner on, and the kids are being pricks.
That's true. But I think there's a lot more people sort of exploring that path.
I would hope
now.
so. But then,
I think it's a thing that's more open now, and people sort of exploring it together, and there's that
do you think
calm.
So how about this then? What's to say that in the 60s, swinging 60s, free love, we wasn't closer then than we are now?
Well, I think the thing about that, and I thought about that the other day, that was induced by a lot of drug taking and stuff like that. And what sort of gives me, I mean, I've never done LSD or ayahuasca or anything like that.
Aren't you?
But I'm not saying I wouldn't do it if I wanted to explore more. Like our mate Terence McKenna.
That's an interesting thing that you bring up. I've never done psychedelics.
No.
I'm too frightened because I think in my mind I'd be running through fields, but in reality I'd be in I'd just be dribbling in a dressing gown. One flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Yeah, right.
But the people that I do know that have been involved in those things tell me that once you do it, there's no going back. You know that once them senses get opened up to you, that this is all bollocks. Like,
and the thing that makes my head flip about that is that I'm already open to that. So I think,
so can you imagine? So I was sat with my friend, and
experience?
he gave me a little pipe with DMT in it. I was so willing to have a go, and this voice in my head it screamed at me like, "Don't open that door, man."
Yeah, yeah.
And I think for me personally, that's too much info.
I think there's a thing with Simon Amstel on Russell Brand Under the Skin. Have you heard that?
No, but I've watched his stand up. He's fucking amazing, dude. He's super smart.
And he tells a story about going to Peru and taking DMT or ayahuasca, whatever you want to call it, two plants being merged together to create something that's naturally produced in your brain when you dream, which is fucking crazy.
That's the argument.
It just grows out the floor. I mean, how could
There's a lot to be said.
And so basically, he had so much pent up anxiety, and he thought
was this about his mum? No.
Go on. I might have told you before.
No, I think I heard this on his stand up.
Okay, so basically the whole episode's worth listening to on Under the Skin with Russell Brand. He just talks about he had so much anxiety, didn't know what it was connected to, thought it might be because he's gay, or he didn't know. And he went to Peru and he took ayahuasca, And he, when he took it, apparently you take it and you sit in a group, and there's like a shaman there, and you
it's that ritualistic aspect to it.
And I think that's like maybe a bit of fucking bullshit.
Well,
but
when
I
you
don't
talk about Darren Brown, it's that suggestibility, to have that ritual involved,
and that
brings
helps.
you along. Of course,
yeah, definitely.
But go on, what was his experience?
So basically, he talks about he becomes connected to nature. So you're in the rainforest for a start. I wouldn't need that to feel connected to nature personally, but
a lot of people go on these quests.
Yeah, I know.
But it is the ritual.
I think it's amazing.
I don't think you could smoke ayahuasca in your room and have the same.
Yeah, right. Probably not as good, but yeah, certainly. So he suddenly felt like he could hear every frog in the forest, and he knew what it looked like, and he could identify by the sound.
Connected to it.
Yeah, and then he just wanted to had like an overwhelming feeling to just hug a tree,
Love.
and he just felt pure love. And his experience is, I'm pretty sure this is close to what he says, but it's something like he saw himself as a child being held by his mum, and it was his own voice saying to him as a child that it was nothing to do with you. You were just a child. There was nothing that you could do. And then he realises that his whole anxiety stemmed back from being 6 months old in his mum's hand, because his mum was crying, and he related his mum crying. And
I'll take that all day long.
Yeah, amazing.
I've often thought by the time that a child reaches its formative years, it's game over.
Yeah.
4 or 5, it's done. 4 or 5, and that child is either made or broken.
Yeah, right.
And I think that the thing is, Dave, that people are not educated enough or open-minded enough to understand that their experiences and their behaviours impact how they raise their kids. So from my example, my children, my dad wasn't around, so I always wanted to be best friends with my kids.
Right.
Until they got to the age where that wasn't right for them. I don't need this shit. You're transferring your shit onto me.
Yeah, right.
And that's what we have a tendency to do, is like just burden our children with fucking worries or whatever, even subconsciously, like give them our fears.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's
and it
just
ain't
crazy.
what that child needs.
No, it's not.
But you're forming a character. But by 4 or 5, I honestly believe it's game over.
Yeah,
I
because
really
there's
do.
so much input and so much stuff that happens that just shapes your reality, and you
they
don't
say
even realise.
There's only so many fears that you're born with, falling and something else, loud noises,
right,
whatever.
yeah.
The rest is like... I was thinking this the other day. I watched, what's it called? Arachnophobia? That film about spiders when I was a kid. And I think, I fucking hate spiders. No,
I didn't.
No,
I
really don't.
No,
but now I do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's just, you can only really be scared of darkness and but
it's the idea that someone else is imposing their ideas on you. Do you know what I mean? So by the time like you're fucking 15, you're asking me to choose a career, buckle down for these exams when my fucking hormones are going crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know who I am, what's going on.
It's so twisted, isn't it?
But
like
it's all chemical, Dave. Like, this is what I always come back to, is that your experience is based on the periodic table of elements, man.
Yeah.
You're only experiencing chemicals. So if you're eating something, doing
just
something,
chemical, and it's
you're
only
just changing the chemical
the taste
components.
of sweet and bitterness or whatever it is. That's the only flavours you can actually
But
taste.
it's only chemical. It's only ever chemical. But whether you're choosing drugs to do it, love, food, fear,
it's a chemical reaction.
It's a chemical reaction.
Yeah.
So, my views, I think I wouldn't be surprised if I was just a fucking brain in a jar on a shelf.
Or just a simulation.
It's not. None of it's real.
Well,
it's just your perception of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. I think if it wouldn't surprise me if we're in a computer and they've developed artificial intelligence so far that it allows you to think that you are existing.
Absolutely.
Which
could be VR now.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Well, a mad thing I heard on the Joe Rogan thing was that it's crazy. It does my head in. But so we're made from carbon, and all of that comes from a star that's died.
Just stardust, baby.
And then you think, what? And then
But
get
when
that tattooed on me.
But that's the truth of
That's the truth. Cosmic dust.
But no one can... Like, I said this to Scotty Cohen. If you said to someone, I'm a really good footballer, they go, all right. If you said I'm a really good carpenter, bricklayer, they go, all right. If you say I'm a really good songwriter, people go, whoa.
Yeah.
It's beyond my capabilities.
Yeah.
I believe in that.
Yeah.
No, that's the truth. That's just what I'm good at.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't fathom that you would make a success of that. Well, that's your shit, man. I can fathom that.
That's what you're really good at, yeah.
Come back. You are fucking made of a star that exploded, you crazy fuck.
You idiot. Yeah.
You're telling me it's not possible?
Stop messing about.
Mate, we're a teacup in a fucking ocean, a fucking infinite... Mate, come on, stop worrying.
That's what I just think, but also I understand why that's hard to know
hard to
that,
grasp.
and then not worry.
I said the other
The
day,
infinity is
the
like
sheer
worrying.
magnitude of existence is a cross that's hard to bear if you're aware of it.
Yeah.
But my uncle, like, he loves fish fingers for tea, so
Yeah.
he's all right.
And I do.
Who doesn't? I would love to sit there and go, what am I going to have for fish? Salted. And then just blank. Oh. Do you know what I mean? It
I
don't
think
work like
people
that
are
for
just
me.
like scared of that emotion, and there's something about their brain that just shuts off because it's like, no.
Do you know what I think the bottom line is, if we're going to go really deep? It comes down to futility of life, man. We're all mortal. We're all going to fucking die. You're going to die sooner or later, man. It's going to happen. And we're all terrified. And to really detract us from that thought, which permeates our existing moments from when we wake up to when we go to bed. You're going to fucking die. You can try and hide it. You can watch Corrie, do what you want, go to the bookies, have a line of gear. The point being is, trying to cope with that sheer magnitude of that info is too much, man. That's too much of a fucking burden. But what it has a tendency to do for me is make me scared of living.
Yeah, right.
And what it should do is make me think, oh, gives a
Excited for
fuck,
living.
man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you're going to die anyway, dick. And you'll probably fucking void your bowels when it happens. You're worried about being a dick now. You're worried about having a skinhead. Wait till you shit your pants in a road traffic accident.
And then you're dead.
And then, do you know what I mean?
Mate, the journey is unbelievably massive, but it's...
it is to certain people, mate. It ain't the same for everyone.
No, yeah, true. But I think I'm quite lucky to not be scared of that.
Are you not scared of dying? No. Have you had much experience around death or mortality in your family? And
Yeah,
stuff?
a few like people close, but no one like massively close.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see what that's like. But I just...
But it is life, isn't it? Like, do you know...
I'm not scared about myself dying. I'm scared about my family, Ella dying, mates dying.
But
that scares me. But me personally, I don't really mind.
I've had a few fucking close calls. One was where I was driving a BMW and I flipped it on a roundabout, and it was like James Bond shit, I'm telling you. And time slowed down, and I was thinking, this is it. When it speeds back up, I'm going to get decapitated. This is it. It didn't happen. I was sitting there afterwards, and it took a long time to realise that was like PTSD in many ways. All I think about is, if it happens, number one, I want it to be quick.
Yeah.
And number two, if I could just like push a little kid out of the way of a bus and then...
That'd be nice.
That'd be a sweet way to go. He was a hero, that guy. He jumped on a grenade. What a guy. Like,
do you think about dying much?
No, but therein lies the battle, is because I'm consciously trying not to think about that shit. So much so that I'm not even aware that I'm thinking it.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, I think TV, they tried to hypnotise us with that until it stopped working. Then it was phones, so it's 24/7 in your face.
Yeah.
Reality is, wake up and think, today might be the day I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And then you probably have a good day.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that job interview really worth me like having the runs for?
Not
Probably
really.
not,
Just go to it, see what happens.
Don't matter, does it?
No.
Really?
Which is
But it's easier said than done, is my point. It's easy to think that intellectually, and it's a different...
to apply, like when I'm
emotionally
gone. Yeah, when I'm not gone and we're not talking about it, then you go, oh.
Well, I've had experiences like you say you're worried about other people.
Yeah.
And I was saying today, like, I went for counselling today. It's important.
He's mad.
Yeah, people should do it. You should give it to babies. The idea that life is futile means for me that I find it difficult to make a connection with people on a deep level, because I know sooner or later they're going to go or I'm going to go.
Yeah, right.
I've got bare fucking abandonment issues, man.
Yeah, right.
It takes a lot for me to get close to someone. Doesn't mean I don't understand the mechanics of it.
Yeah, you're just afraid of doing it because you get taken away.
I just think you're born alone.
Yeah.
When you come out of the womb, what the fuck? That was all nice and cozy. Now this is like surgical room with lights and it's cold and what
weird.
the fuck?
Yeah.
But you're always alone inside your own head.
Yeah.
You can go to your mum, I feel this way, and she can sympathise. She ain't gonna know how you feel intrinsically, and you die alone.
Yeah.
So,
are you happy in your own head?
No.
Are you comfortable with it?
I like it, but it's like frightening if I let it go. But yeah, I would. I'm comfortable inside myself. I think I know myself well enough now to know what I believe and what I don't believe.
Yeah, same. I get moments where I can't comprehend what I believe and I can't even explain it to you. I look at last night was an amazing moon, and I went out on the terrace where I live, and I looked up, and I actually felt emotional. I felt
But do you think that's
I
normal?
felt happy. I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think it is. No, I think there's a select few, man. We're the indigo children.
Yeah, I hope so.
I had an experience the other week where I was on tag for a long while, and I went out to the mixer in Camden with the Lanes boys just to like check it out because of the sound and that. That night just took worse and worse turns to the point where I was involved in a scenario where it was really fucking sinister and like nefarious. I didn't want to be involved in it. vibes got super dark, and I could not tell you why they did, because it wasn't saying anyone said or did. It was just a vibe in this room, and I got up and I walked out, and it took every ounce of my courage to get up and walk out. And when I did, I found myself walking about. I ended up in a church. I'm not a religious person, Dave, right? If I told you this full story, like Scotty gave me a book earlier in the evening called Conversations with God, which is a book I've got. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't think of it. Oh, my book. I put it in my pocket. It wasn't my copy of that book, right? I ended up at 7 o'clock in the morning at a church reading this book. I took communion. My Catholic friend says, you're not allowed to do that, you dick. You didn't go through the necessary process. Regardless, I come out of that with such a spiritual experience, but it's based on my fucking choices within that night. Do you know what I mean? So I can either pursue things that are good or pursue the right thing. And I think it's easier to follow the leader and do that shit thing than it is to stand up and go, do you know what? I don't really want to be a part of this. Yeah, right. Because that takes a little bit of gumption.
That takes a lot to walk away from
especially
things like
that. In that fucking environment where things are not... It was hard to explain though. Anyway, I come out of this church, I fucking walked over, I just had this knowing. I went over to this bus driver, went onto his bus. I said, he opened the doors, I said, do you believe in God? He went, yeah, man, where do you need to go? He took me, he wasn't even working, he took me from there to Kentish Town. Okay. I got home, by the time I got home, the soles were falling off my shoes. I got home ecstatic at 10 in the morning thinking I've walked away from a scenario that previously I would have
got involved in.
Proper up for doing that.
Yeah.
Where's my involvement in that? Because I didn't decide how I felt or what I wanted to do.
No.
So I do believe that there's something guiding us on our way. There has to be, man.
That's just consciousness that's guiding you.
Yeah, but I said this to someone the other day. Consciousness having a conscience is what, for me, differentiates you from being a good person or a bad person. If you do something and it's shit and you don't feel bad about it, you're a sociopath and you're a bad person. If I do something and I know I've hurt someone...
Yeah, you feel shit.
Yeah. But not everyone's like that.
No, not everyone is. No one. But I think the thing is, things like that will just affect people later on, and if you're lucky. Like if you're lucky.
I don't even think it will, because I think these people are so telling themselves their own story to such a degree. It will always be someone else's fault.
Yeah.
Oh, this can't, that can't. That's fine if you don't want to grow, but I don't get to choose what journey I'm on, man. Like this, someone saying to me, "Fucking like, here's what you need to learn." I'm like, "Oh, really? Yeah.
Just do it."
Have I not learned that yet? No, Bobby, you definitely haven't. Like, have I not? No. It's been 2 years. You still haven't learned.
You need to learn.
And that's the experience I have, man. It's like a spiritual plateau. If you don't learn from the experience, you will keep having that experience until you grow.
There's a great line in Russian Doll, the program I told you to watch, and the guy says, "You become what you repeatedly do."
Isn't that the truth, though?
You do. You just become...
But then that's the definition of insanity, is to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result.
Yeah.
And that's what I found with cocaine, is that I was doing it all the time, trying to get to the point where I would do it and go, yeah, I'm all right, I can leave that now. No. 15 years of experience has told you that's not
Doesn't work.
That's not how it works. But I'm there going like a spoiled kid. It will be. I'm not lactose intolerant. I will have cheese on my pizza.
That's just what that is. I think that's just human nature in scenarios that you shouldn't be in.
Isn't it human nature to think I know best though?
Yeah, it is.
Well, you have to accept I know nothing, man. I used to think I knew it all.
Yeah.
I didn't. I still know fuck all, man.
I think you're doing all right,
mate. I honestly blagging it, just blagging it.
I think, I always think
like as a blind man walking around that. I'm feeling my way, but.
Yeah. But
how many times you have to learn though, Dave? Like,
yeah, but people are slow learners sometimes.
Yeah, but try and explain that when you've got quite a high IQ, like no common sense. But people go, "You're bright. You should be figuring this shit out." Like,
just an addictive personality, though.
I just think it's a quest for more, or quest for knowledge, or like we said before. That going back to the original point, why do people believe in things that they've got no reason to? Is there's a hole in the soul, and it seeks more,
and you just want to fill
it does seek connection, and I honestly believe we're all connected to one another.
Do you think that's just an animalistic thing to stay alive? Just like you want more. Originally, that would be more food, more water, stay alive. Yeah. And now we've got all these factors and that, and we're just trying to.
Absolutely.
And we're like, but really, that's not what we're trying to fill it with.
We haven't evolved enough.
Our emotions have evolved to a point, and now we've got emotions. What we should be. This is going to sound fucking corny as fuck.
No.
But what you should be filling your hole with is just love and connection with people.
I believe that.
Instead of getting confused with all the other shit.
So Russell Brand said this thing before where he said that his mate's kid came over about 4 or 5 and he went, I want something. I want a can of Coke.
Yeah.
The kid didn't want anything, but he had a wanting inside of him.
Yeah.
And that's what we're born on a consumer society, Dave. Let's not forget that point, is that they're fucking selling you this shit.
We don't
from the
have
minute you're
choice
born.
over what we buy.
I don't want them Nike trainers. They're not going to make me run faster in junior school. I'll put them on.
Mate, look good though.
Mate, I did obviously run faster because they were Nike. But do you know what I mean though? Like, oh, buy this and you'll be happy.
Doesn't work.
No, I won't.
No.
I really won't. But the more you want to sell me, the more I've got to feel less than.
What's your favourite thing about being alive then? Like, if you
At
know
the moment,
you know the Nike trainers don't work.
At the moment,
Yeah.
Is like I've been saying this to Scotty and the boys all the time. Is that it's the journey and not the destination. If you think I'm going to make it or I'm going to get there, I'm going to be happy. This is going to happen. I'm going to get that job, mate.
You're not going to.
Mate, school's never out. Like you're not throwing the mortarboard in the air. It's not, your parents are not there, even though they're divorced, but they're getting on because you've graduated. It ain't gonna work like that. This ain't 1980s. Like you're not Michael J. Fox.
It is just the journey, yeah.
It's being mindful in that moment, Dave. Like happiness is fleeting. Like if I don't appreciate this moment with you now, when you're gone, I will never have appreciated this.
No,
it ain't about getting anywhere. It's just about trying to fucking enjoy what. I just try and laugh, man.
Yeah.
It's a fucking joke. Look at it. If they were telling you this, you're going to be born into a fucking race where, as a collective, people are sociopathic, psychopathic, mass murderers with delusional paranoia. That's your fucking tribe, bruv. Get on with that. It's a joke. You can't take it seriously. You really can't. The minute you do that.
Your favourite thing is just laughing and realising the absurdity of life.
Also trying to get. And I made a conscious decision previously, is trying to get the most out of these experiences. So, if I look after a band, I can go to Boogaloo Radio on Saturday. I would never have had that opportunity to do that before.
No.
Moreover, said yes to it, but I get to do that. How many people can say they've done that? And it's not a competition, but that's something for me where I can say, that's new. Familiarity and all the rest of it. Like, when I was 15, Dave, I couldn't even go on a train because I was so pent up with anxiety, like... I just couldn't do it. I had to come home and my mum gave me a fucking brandy, like, cool my nerves.
Yeah, right.
Now what I try and do is just say yes and worry about it later, but at least try and do shit that's out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, and then in a year, then in 2 years, you'll look back and you'll be at the next level of managing a band.
Well, this is the thing, but...
Or
the idea
just general life.
But if you don't appreciate the experience whilst you're having it, you never will. Like I say to Scotty, like, the first gig, the first radio interview, you've got to hang on to that shit, like...
Yeah,
you're
take
never
that
going to
in.
get to the point where it's like Manchester United with Alex Ferguson. They used to forget that game, you're on to the next one. Forget about winning that trophy, you're on to the next one. Until hopefully you get 10 years down the line and go, fuck me, we were good.
Yeah, yeah.
But you might never get
enjoy it there.
Enjoy it there.
Yeah.
But like we were saying earlier, like try and find an equilibrium where I'm not fucking bouncing off the walls because of the experience.
And not really low because something bad
and not wanting to
happens.
swing from a fucking rope by the same token. Do you know what I mean? But
which is just one of those things that I suppose you get used to it, or you sort of. The problem is that you can just, and Reece said this as well, you get in a hole where you just can't then enjoy because you think, oh God, what if that happens again?
Mate, I've been through huge chunks of my life where I can't appreciate even being fucking live. The magnitude of life is fucking immense to try to swallow, let alone like do something with.
You know, I just feel grateful that we can just sit in this room now. You know, you feel happy. You look at who you love musically. You watch what films have been made at the time you've been alive. You think, fuck, we was at the same time alive at the same time as David Bowie being alive.
Do you know it was you? I think that said, or I'm not sure if you nicked it or someone else.
Probably.
And I said to you, nothing lasts forever, Dave. And you went, no, art does.
Art does last
and
forever,
music does, and that like for me was mind blown because I'm so into the idea that life's transient. When I die, and it's gonna happen, all I can leave behind is like a little thing where people go, oh him, or he was a fucking crank, or what a funny cunt, or whatever. But what you're saying about art is so true. That's the legacy that you leave behind, and that's what I'm mindful of with these podcasts or my songs or what I'm trying to do in life. I'm trying to leave a legacy for my boys when they're old enough to look and go, do you know what? He was a fucking loon, but he did these things. He
look at what he tried to do.
He went outside of the scope of the 9 to 5. Like, I'm not bigging myself up, though. When I was in the Filthy Habits, we got to play to not the fucking biggest crowds, but I think we played to like 5,000 or 6,000 at the O2.
Yeah, that's good.
It ain't that. It's how many people can say they've done that?
Exactly, and not many.
But at the time, I did not appreciate that one iota. I was pissed off that day.
Yeah.
I fell asleep. They called me on stage, and then I went and got pissed again.
Yeah, right. You
I didn't
even
look
enjoy
out and go, fucking hell, son. Come
Yeah.
on.
I think, I definitely get that. I think, being in the moment is like the most important thing. But then also, there are certain situations where you can enjoy it after. You know, being pissed on stage at the O2 to 5,500 people. In the memory, that's still good. It doesn't matter that you can't.
It's kind of, but it's kind of like, after the wank.
Yeah,
you know, like you're looking at it going, should have been involved at the time.
Yeah.
But the point being is that the idea being is that I will never not be that mindful again.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
fair. But I still don't think you should, or anyone should, beat themselves up about going, oh God, you know, because you learned a lot from that, and you still done it, and you know you've done it. So I don't think you should beat yourself up for not being in the moment all the time.
No, but what I would like to suggest is that if everybody sort of cast off the beliefs that have been put on them, because that's all it is. Sean Locke does this thing. We lie to our kids all the time. We say your eyes are bigger than your belly. You can be whatever you want to be, and it's like an in joke. But the reality is, that kid could be like, you see these prodigies where stop thinking that it's a child and start thinking what can they actually take in. I always spoke to my children with a vocabulary that was wide and varied. They didn't have any problem picking it up.
No, it took very quickly.
If you think that if a child's born in a drawer or kept in a box, that's its place. Like, let's not dumb ourselves down, and that's what we're doing. Anyone could go and fucking play at the O2.
Yeah.
Anyone could do whatever the fuck they want if they really felt that it was possible.
Yeah,
but we don't.
But we don't. If we're positive and move forward, then you feel you could do anything. Yeah, I definitely believe.
But
that.
But like, we're in the minority for thinking that.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I suppose it comes down to, like, you have creative people, you have practical people, you have logical people. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the Hunger Games, baby. Like, choose your tribe.
Yeah.
Almost, to a certain degree. I would like to think that what I'm trying to do in the music business is impossible. I've got no right to think that I can sustain myself in this industry. And that's what I fucking love about the challenge, because I'll play a computer game, mate. I'll clock that in 2 days. What other game you got? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll take 2 days off work and do Grand Theft Auto. What's next?
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing that I want to...
An impossible puzzle, yeah.
But that's what it is. But it ain't about finishing the puzzle. It's just about enjoying the puzzle while you're doing it. Like, I did a sketch earlier, like, first time since I was a kid, man. I don't know if it was an hour, 2 hours, whatever.
Just sketched.
But it wasn't until I came out of that little fucking bubble that I thought, that was a nice little period of time when I wasn't giving a shit about council tax.
Yeah.
Or... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or strained relationships.
Yeah, right. I think the thing you said about talking to children like they're like adults or even just humans is probably the next step. It just made me think, that we're still living like a really sexist age.
Absolutely, and racist as well.
Sexist and racist, of course. But once we finally accomplish and get past those ingrained things, hopefully, it take many years, but I think so. Yeah,
Do you think so?
I think so, because I've got faith in.
Have you got faith in humanity?
I've got the faith in the next generation.
Have you?
I got faith in people
That's
like me and you having children and explaining and being a bit more open-minded.
You're less cynical than me. I think it's too late, personally. I would love to think that. But I love that you think that.
I think it's a thing where I say it quite a lot, where we're living in 2019, but really we're actually living in 1989. You know what I mean? We're 30 years. We're looking back 30 years. So in 30 years' time, we'll be looking back, hopefully, at what we're discussing now.
Well, this is what my theory is, Dave, is that it's already happened. It's too late.
Yeah,
consequentially,
yeah.
I would love to think there's enough people like me and you and anyone else that does anything creative or who stands up for what they believe in to say enough's enough, and that will have a chain reaction.
Yeah.
But I just think the grip and the grasp that the establishment has makes people docile to the point where I'm so angry I'm going to fucking do a Facebook status, and now my anger subsided because I've done that. That's not enough, man.
We're just waiting to be told to do something.
Yeah, but get out on the street, like, or burn something.
Leave your classroom on a Friday like those kids
do
did.
something.
Do you
know what I mean?
Anyway, back to the point about the kids, talking to them in a certain way. I think that we definitely are stuck it's just stuck in the rabbit hole of talking to people in what section of society they're in. If you're a woman, if you're black, if you're Chinese, and right.
What right, doll? Right, love.
Yeah, exactly.
What you need to
and what I think is we'll get to the point where women do get treated as equally as men do, but also then maybe after that little fuck up sorted, we can start talking to children.
Fuck up. I would like to think, but they must look at us and just go, oh, children. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're turning around going, do you know what? I fucking hate Derek from the office, and you don't know why. And then your missus is there going, we do hate Derek. Do you know what I mean? Like, but they're looking at us having the last laugh in a sense.
Going, yes, you do. Do your
but
job.
We're going,
yes.
but we're going, oh, you know, feminism or 1975 misogynist, and the women look at there going, if you really knew that we were fucking behind the curtain, come on, you dicks. Like, it's almost like watching chimps discover mirrors. Like, oh women, and women are like,
women deserve happiness too.
Like you didn't do everything that your wife ever wanted ever. Like, you know they're smarter than you. You were raised on your mum's tit, you idiot. You will listen to the female in your life, like the matriarch. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
But I just worry that
maybe we start talking to children equally, and that'll be the revolution of progression.
What I said to my mum,
like you saying, Scotty said, why when a kid stands up and starts shouting, well, maybe we'll start treating in the next revolution or part of evolutionary history, we'll start treating children as adults and give them an equal platform.
But look at who deciding who has a platform and who doesn't.
Yeah,
it's not in the establishment's best interest to give that fucking renegade a voice. Because that renegade might end up being Che Guevara, and then your fucking facade's coming down, bitch.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you've got to look at where the influences and the impacts are coming from. I talk to my mum all the time. Like, my mum's a very spiritual person, and she says that she would love to have a little centre where children come and do meditation and do yoga, and I think it should be implemented nationwide in nurseries. Yeah, because that little kid that's got ADHD that's bouncing off the walls is not going to do that if he has 20 minutes of fucking focusing on a fucking Yeah, do you know what I mean? He wouldn't. But they don't want you they don't want you on that level, because suddenly you're accessing higher life forms. What they want is you to punch each other
and hate each other.
Of course they do.
Divide and conquer.
I need to make the school football team, otherwise he's better than me. Or, mate, do you know what? You know, I think if I knew then what I know now, do you know what I mean?
Oh my God, yeah.
Come on, son.
God, I didn't know anything like this when I was at school.
Don't know
not even
about
a bit
this now.
No, true. Yeah, we don't. But we're discovering
But do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
But then you say perceptions. Like, my mum, right? Oh, Lord love her. Like, I would turn up to PE late because she'd gone to buy me plimsolls that were white with laces. All the other kids had the black plimsolls with the elastic. Standard fare, right? Yeah. So I turn up feeling like insecure as fuck in these fucking clown flippers. Whereas another child turn up, I've got the best fucking plimsolls. Do you know what I mean? So she's trying to like do it in a positive way, but my interpretation is completely different.
Yeah, we'll talk about vegetarianism then.
In my heart of hearts, I know it's right, and I know that we will get there. We have to get there. It's
not sustainable.
We can't we can't hope for a spiritual evolution and still kill things.
No,
you dick.
Yeah, obviously.
Because this table's got a soul, or it vibrates on a particular level.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if you said, Bob, you really like bacon, don't you? And I said, yeah. And you said, right, we'll kill that pig then. Not so many bacon sandwiches.
No, right.
Do you know what I mean?
I think...
and I know that that's the right thing to do, and we can see it. We can see that movement. Like, I think people, particularly of your generation, are part of that and changing things. And then, like you say, in 30 years, people going, we used to eat fucking meat.
That was weird. And drink milk.
Do you remember when we used to eat the fucking fear of other animals at the point where we fucking bulk gunned them?
It's crazy, isn't it?
It is when you consider it.
Do you know one thing that I just assumed it wasn't a thing anymore, but caged hens laying eggs, I thought that was gone, but it's still a thing.
I can't even begin to get into vegetarianism or veganism, because I know once I see the truth, there'll be no going back for me. And I know that I'm not ready at this point in my life to get there.
Yeah, it's just a thing that you probably get there. Probably.
I would hope so, because it's the same as fucking harbinger of doom. Like, you know it's there, it's happening. So come on.
Realistically,
if someone said to you, "Can you kill an animal?"
I'm never doing it.
I couldn't even punch a human being in the face. No. It would take them to hit me a couple of times before I probably got scared and slapped them and run away. So in terms of like being a fucking butcher and a barbarian, but you're talking about the caveman. Times earlier, and that's the whole point.
That's people's argument.
Our mind is still stuck in that baser instincts.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ego, convenience, narcissism, whatever it is. I'm not going to go and kill a pig. But I'll happily eat that stuff that comes in plastic that doesn't look like a pig because it smells good and it has salt in it, which makes me think it's Moorish.
Yeah, which it sort of is.
But it is, but let's unravel like...
do you know what
I mean? Bob wants to like...
People's argument against vegetarianism is that we're a mammal, that we're a carnivore. That's what.
But we ain't, aren't we?
We used to do that because there's no other option.
No, I saw a rap on Facebook. That's not the case. Our teeth are not meant for that. Apparently, that's a misconception.
Yeah,
mate. When you break it down, any argument, it's not when you're being fed, isn't it? Come on.
Yeah.
Like if you're breeding animals on top of animals on top of animals, they've ceased to become fair game. They're now... Cheese strings are more plastic than they are cheese on the periodic table of elements.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? I eat chicken now and I think this tastes a little bit too much like chicken. Because it's not. What it is a little bit of plastic with some chicken
and some flavour
and some water and a shit ton of like roast chicken flavouring on top of it. But I'll eat it because I'll eat whatever they tell me to eat.
It's just the pit. What do you call it? The triangle of needs, or the
hierarchy, Maslow's.
So like the bottom bits, vegetables. Then you got cheese and milk. That was only created so people like us will created by supermarkets to sell us it and to make us think we need it.
And it's easy to buy it. The thing is,
my mum still says you need calcium. So you need milk, and I say, well,
my argument for that is that, and it's the definitive argument is that if I'm going to get fucking ripped, I need that protein. No, Bob, because you've seen people on social media that are getting their protein from plants, and they look more ripped than you'll ever fucking look. So that's another like bullshit. Kind of same with Bono. Just believe what you're told. Do you know what I mean? But then I think a lot of it about fads. Like I think asbestos. People go, asbestos is the best building material in the world. 20 years later, fuck, we shouldn't use that. It's like vape. Like people go, I don't smoke, I use vape. In 10 years' time, people are going to be like, I've got AIDS from that vaping.
Mate, 100%.
Yeah, and also
you
like know.
Constantly on a phone, electricity in your ears the whole time. That's not good
just
for you.
A bit. And that's when you get into the long and short of it. They don't want you to eat veg and not kill animals because killing animals
makes a lot of money.
Right? Do you subscribe to this idea that when them animals are dying, they're fearful.
Yeah.
So you're capturing that chemical reaction in them intrinsically as it being and eating it. And that's what I read, and it was kind of like, whoa.
Yeah. A guy that I work with, he is like a definite carnivore, but when I've been speaking to him about it, I mean, I've only been vegetarian or wanted to do it for like a year or two.
How are you finding it, like on a just on a day-to-day basis? Do you feel like more energetic, less energetic, stronger, weaker, what? In all honesty,
mostly I feel better, and also this is quite a personal
Would you recommend it though?
My shits are so much better.
Would you recommend
100%?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. And like it's made me a better cook. Like really creative and making really good curries with like paneer and stuff like that. I think the next step would be to be vegan, but I think at the moment that would be tough. But I reckon I could do it. But I think I could easily.
The long and short of it, right? I was saying to you earlier, like we were talking about preparing food and stuff, and I was saying I got into this thing where I was cooking, and I really enjoyed the idea of cooking, feeding someone, and seeing their reaction afterwards. I think I fed that person, and they feel good about themselves. But you're talking about 9-to-5 life, where people put Findus crispy pancakes in the fucking oven for 5 minutes,
which are delicious.
Obviously, they're Findus crispy. Not going down that road. Point being is that they sell you that convenience. Yeah. A fucking Rustler burger tastes amazing until you realise you've got a bit of cardboard and you're shitting out filth.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because to take 15, 20 minutes, 45 minutes cooking a meal, you ain't got time for that, bruv. You've got EastEnders on. Come on, lad.
It's just also a thing that I found. It's cheaper. It's so much cheaper not eating meat.
They don't want you to know these things.
It's ridiculous. I go and do a shop in Aldi, spend 30 quid, and I've got so much food.
They must be turning their fucking CCTV cameras looking at you going, he's avoided them steaks that ain't really steaks at 8 quid a pop. Fucking.
But what about, this is when I talk to people that are strongly vegetarian, I want to try and speak to a vegan activist and talk about these issues. But I wonder what people would feel like a lab-made meat or like grown meat.
I would eat that. Do you know when it came out that we was eating horse meat?
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck.
No, I don't think I care.
Because it's sustenance. Like my relationship with food is that it's fuel.
Yeah, right.
That's how I see it. So I survived for a long time on Snickers and Red Bull, man.
Yeah, right.
And cocaine. It was an unhealthy diet.
That's a nice weekend.
But when you say it was a nice everyday, but when you look at it, you think, perhaps I'm waking up in the morning feeling a little bit low.
Not great.
Because of that. Yeah. You don't see the bigger picture. But truth of the matter is, if you have to kill things, man, your spirituality is off key. You should. If I had to look at a pig, it's like if someone said to me, punch that person in the face, I'd look at them and think, I can't.
No,
I'm a pacifist, essentially. I just could not. It goes against my rationality. If you said kill that pig, I'd be like,
can't.
well, then that's the truth of it.
Yeah, that's
if you
what you should
couldn't
be
kill
doing.
it yourself, don't be eating it, fuck.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I do.
But by
agree.
the same token, man, I've got 2 fucking packets of bacon in there, and
Oh,
I'm
mate,
gonna have
100%.
one, and I'm gonna have one when you leave.
Oh, mate, I watched Vice. I watched Munchies on Facebook, and the geezer cooked a cheeseburger, and I was like, do you know what? I really want that.
But you know it's shit.
Yeah, I know it's bad.
McDonald's.
It will make me feel bad. I know it would.
I'm sure they've got fucking crack or some shit in their food. They've definitely got, like Greg's, they've definitely got like a genome that is like the common denominator that appeals to everyone, because you can eat any shit out of Greg's. That tastes nice on some level.
What's that chemical called that they put in pizza and stuff like that, and like lots of takeaways?
Chinese I want to say GHB. That's a
GT.
rape drug, I think.
Well, that's
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Mate.
So that is like, that's addictive.
It's going back to what we said about chemical reactions, man. If I eat something with enough salt in it, it's gonna make me dehydrated, and I'm gonna think I want more of it. Like,
I wonder
it
if
ain't rocket science.
There's a point where this capitalism and making food for cheap, pumping it full
fall.
of, it must fall, because I think the people get to a point
Well, they
where
die, Dave. They're fat and they don't exercise, and your fucking market drops off.
Yeah, right.
At the end.
So they've got no option. Like big meat production companies. Well, I think there is that they invested in like a vegetarian production of some sort.
But isn't it?
Got
Any
no
business
choice.
has got a shelf life. Any
Yeah.
business. So anyone that gets involved in like meat or poultry or whatever, or if you have an abattoir, you have to say, if I do 20 years, 30 years out of this, I'll make a nice living.
Yeah.
You can 200 years down the line, people are so fat now.
Yeah.
Or like people go, I'm on a diet, and I say, but are you doing any exercise? And they say no. And I say, well, then you're not going to burn anything off, because what you're doing is you're limiting what you should have in, but you're not taking away.
No.
I don't understand that, because we're all so fucking entrenched in this idea. Oh, it's quick. It's quick. It takes longer to go to a fucking McDonald's drive-through than it does to put a bit of chicken in the oven for 15 minutes. It really is. Like,
and more fulfilling, and probably you get a lot more out of
McDonald's,
cooking.
man, I have a fart or a burp, and I'm like, I could have that again. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. £8.75, please, bitch.
Yeah, there must be there's an addictive thing in the marketing. It's like you become addicted to the brand. It's like it becomes you.
Or the generic. I think it's generic. That's what I think it is. It becomes generic, so it appeals to the middle of the road, the mass.
Right. The mass.
Because you get some people that go, I can't eat McDonald's. I'll have one bite of McDonald's, and it's like shit. Fair.
I wish that was me.
The same, right? But I don't eat it. But
No.
if I do and it's rare, I'm like, as I'm eating it, and then when I'm done, I'm like, why the fuck did I do that?
This is a problem I have. I will go through the drive-through and get like a cheeseburger with no meat in it. Get chips and mozzarella sticks and the vegetarian bits, and then I'm eating. I'm like, I'm funding this machine,
right?
That shouldn't be funded, but it's fucking chips and ice.
But this is the thing as well. This is what kills me about you talking about like the environment and like recycling and all the rest of it. And I look at America and I think we're fucked.
Yeah.
No matter what we do, there's a big fucking mound of people that are destroying Earth, whether we like it or not, by flying across their own country. Like, do you know what I mean? You're sort of, and that's, I suppose, when you say you have this hope that the next generation will come through and awaken, and I hope that we do wake up. But when you look at the conditioning, like, these people haven't left their home countries, they don't have passports, right. They're destroying the resources.
Closed-minded.
I read a thing today, David, it said that the Earth's got 11 years left.
Yeah, right.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Irreversible effects.
It wouldn't surprise me. Like, I often said, I used to joke back in the day, it ain't my problem, it's my kid's problem. And I used to joke about that.
And then you think,
and now it fucking is, not just theirs, mine.
And you think, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Probably can you?
I just think technology moves at such a pace we can't keep up. Like, CDs came and went within my generation. Like, that's a whole concept, been and gone.
Yeah, just made to make money.
But look at the time period before that. It took so long for music to gramophones, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? Now we're like shuttle speed across these things, and you can't go back.
This is the kind of thing that crops up a lot when us do this, that the things that last forever are always sort of the things that feel best, like the tangible and the authentic stuff, like vinyl records come back. But people are worried that books will die, but books are never going to die. You're not going to just have a Kindle. There's something within a person that will just keep.
I would love to
just
think
want
that.
I think so.
I would love to think that.
Like this is really authentic what we're doing now, just chatting, and it's like what people strive for is a connection for something. So those things will never disappear.
Like a resonation. I would hope so. I've struggled to read a Kindle because I love that physicality of reading the book. And do you know what I do as well? if I've got a good book, I'll give that to someone else. I might have nicked it from the library down the road.
That's fine though.
But
Because then
I do
once
think
you're
that
giving
you
it
should
on,
give that to someone else and pass it on, and then they've got that physicality. So I would love to think that books will never die and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But you're talking about, when you're looking at the numbers, I'm hoping that a groundswell will happen, and those that are more spiritual or more mindful about nature will start to grow. But by the same time, Dave, you've got fucking idiots raising kids who don't give a shit about anything except their trainers. And I said about ethnic cleansing, oh my God, I'm getting onto it. But what I do think is that if someone decides to have a child, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to have some sort of psychological test in place to say, first and foremost, can you raise that child safely and in a loving environment? Are you mature enough emotionally and psychologically? And then start teaching that kid the right lessons on the way to behave towards each other and the rest of us. Because you're like America, you could raise your child to be the most generous, pleasant, giving person in the world. He meets some little shit at school that beats the fuck out of him and severely tarnishes his formative years. I will laugh at anything. I love racism for a joke. I love sexism. I love fucking brutality. Like, my favourite joke is, what's the difference between a Ferrari and a dead prostitute? I don't have a Ferrari in my garage.
Well, because it's like
Because
obviously
it's particularly nasty and grim, and
that's the funny thing.
But people are hetting up like they've got a view on this girl from ISIS.
Yeah,
you don't. What you've got is a narrative that you're being fed.
Yeah.
Let's take it back. When you were 15, you did some dumb shit. All right, you didn't join a terrorist organisation, but if your conditioning had have been that way...
Yeah, and you were groomed. I mean, people were groomed to do all sorts of things. It's better to do something that makes you feel good, that in turn makes someone else feel good instead of not.
But this is the whole point of what my existence has taught me, Dave, is that you can chase what will make you feel happy to the end of days.
Yeah.
You will never be satisfied. Happiness comes from serving other people. It has to. Because if you're selfish, there will always be a need for more. I could have a pot noodle, and then I'm going to want another pot noodle, and then another pot noodle. If someone's hungry and I give them a pot noodle, I'm satisfied with my one, but I'm also buzzing off the fact that they might go, you prick, when I leave.
Yeah.
Don't matter to me, because I've...
Chicken and mushroom.
Oh, there ain't any others.
I mean, I wouldn't eat that anymore, but I mean...
They don't taste the same.
No.
No.
Maybe they've probably got any chicken anyway.
Do you know when it says there's no artificial flavours and colourings? I think, well, that's why it tastes shit.
Yeah.
It's like party rings. Yeah. No artificial flavours. Well, these don't taste the same as what they used to.
There's nothing real that you should eat in that, really.
It's periodic table of elements, man.
Nice, though.
If it doesn't... It's not food.
No.
It's not food. It's like fucking... What do you call it?
It's
Well, that's
like
like when you make a
energy.
primary school, like on a...
Yeah, like plasticine.
Pasta on a fucking little bit of card. Like, I'm eating it. I know I shouldn't be, but...
I still am.
Convenience, man.
That is.
Somebody drew a fucking boulder, mate, like, with a little stick in the sand, and they went, if you stand there, you're alright, you're American. Don't stand there, though.
No,
you're
build
Mexican.
a wall. Build a wall.
And I'm like, oh, I kind of want to walk about.
Yeah,
like,
well, I like walking. I like exploring.
Right.
Yeah, but you're poor. You're not allowed.
I want to tire myself out. I'm not on his team. I'm not on your team.
I just want to walk
I
about.
just want to have a little look about.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go to the Hanging Gardens of like Babylon.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm fucking from there. I'm just saying I want to have a little look.
Look and live there for a bit.
How mad? Yeah. When you get on a plane, I've got to show my passport. Why? To prove that you are who you say. Why? To prove that you are from where you are. Why?
Yeah.
I pay my money for a ticket. Shouldn't matter where I come from or where I'm fucking going, mate. Don't matter. Why are you going to use that information?
Do you think that
It's jokes, is what I think. I think it's all fucking jokes and laughs.
Do you think that was started with bad intentions?
Of course it would. I'm taxing your town. Like I'm a medieval Saxon. I'm taxing your village, right? So don't tell me you're from that village, you little bastard. You're from this village, and so I'm going to tax you now. If you're from that village, you have a bit of paper that says you're from that village, so I can tax you.
Do you think it continues with bad intentions?
Mate, everybody's racist.
Or it's ingrained?
Everybody's racist. And I'll tell you the answer, how you know that you are, or maybe a question you should ask yourself. Would you rather, if you're a white person or a white man, would you rather live next to a white family or an Asian family or a black family? Or a fucking Polish family? Most people, because, and I think it's because of human nature, intrinsic in familiarity.
Well, and also,
so they go, I'd rather knock about with people that I know.
That's just tribal.
Yeah, the last white man that lived next door to you was Fred West.
Yeah.
How comfortable do you feel about being associated with that person now? Would you rather not have lived with the people from fucking Jamaica?
Do you know what I think? So there's some people that are so far gone that they actually wouldn't mind living next to Fred West.
Do you know what fucking buzzes me out? And I think it's a sign of progress. If you come out as a gay man now, not a problem.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, you would get fucking
Abused.
caned for being camp.
Yeah.
He's a puff. He's a fucking shirt lifter.
Was it illegal in 1960?
Not so long ago.
It's not long ago, man.
Not so long. I watched Coach Trip the other day, and it was Brendan. When our lad coming out would be put in prison.
Yeah.
But that goes to show the struggle. But then it scares me that we're going so far above and beyond those things. I'm now identifying as a pencil sharpener.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I mean? So,
well, I think that the people like saying that is a thing, like identifying as a tin of peas or whatever. I think
garden peas though, not marifat.
Petit pois.
Petit pois, not never the marifat.
No. I would never identify as one of them.
Give peas a chance.
Yeah, give them a chance, give them a voice. I just think that is really taking credibility away from people that deserve the voice. You know, nobody gives a fuck about that.
But isn't that another illusion of the establishment? We'll give you too much power now. Well, you're going to hang yourself.
So you fucking rip each other apart.
You're just undermining the argument.
Yeah.
Like to be immortal. If you could have
to be immortal?
Thoughts, feelings, memories downloaded. Have you seen a film called Moon?
No. I haven't seen any films.
You should.
Moon. I'm writing it on my hand.
So it's got Sam Rockwell in it. It's fucking amazing. I won't, go into the story, but the idea being is that if you could download your memories, experiences, all the rest of it into a whatever it be, would you do that? Would you be inclined to do it?
If I were able to.
Because that's the whole. Anything you read is like a quest for immortality.
Yeah.
Within particular psychopathic human beings, especially those that will power. I never want to die. I want to be immortal.
I don't know if I want to live forever, but I'd like to know everything.
Do you think there's a capability to do that?
No.
No.
But not in our current state. But I think I would like to exist forever, but experience it. I suppose It's hard to know because
you know what that strikes a chord with me because I don't think if you're alive 100 years, 200 years, you will ever fathom it all.
No.
But you would see as a 200-year-old, you would see more of the progress than you would as a 60 or 70-year-old. You know, and that's the interesting.
Well, I just think we've had science for 500 years. Imagine a society that's had science for 1 million years.
Do you know what strikes me? And I can't understand why this isn't fathomable. The idea is that spirituality and science are on two opposite sides.
Yeah.
What I love about the law of attraction is that it's the idea that spirituality and science
coexist
to the point where you're using spirituality to create your own environment.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. Come on, dicks.
Just
it's
work
like
together.
If Texaco got with BP, you would have that whole shit. You could call it BP Texaco. And we did. Do you
work
know what I mean?
together.
I will never, I will never subscribe to Plato's views. Like, all right. And I'll tell you the point, the pertinent point that gets me all the time is that the Wright brothers, when they achieved flight, Dave, you're talking about 30 years of science unravelled in a day. People were scared to print their first successful flight because they were thinking, it's impossible, man. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
Until it did. And then 20 years later, BMI going skint because they can't afford to fucking ferry people around Europe. Like, Ryanair are going against I'll fly you anywhere for £1.
Yeah, for £1.
If 30 years ago, we're going, no, what we've decided is mathematically it's impossible. How the fuck does a freighter that weighs tons float?
Yeah, mad. It doesn't make sense. I can never get that. It doesn't make sense.
Well, turn your science to that shit. Tell me after that because I don't fathom it. Like,
the laws of physics. But I don't understand.
It's got cars in it, it's got trucks in it, it's got people in it. It's fucking
flying.
It's building on a fucking sea. It's floating. What are you talking about?
It's floating and flying.
Heavier it is, the more it sinks. What are you going on about? How is it floating? What? I don't understand. How?
How does it work? But how does a plane fly?
Is a 60-year-old people who are just knocking about on a boat going, I don't really give a fuck how this floats, but when's the ball? Like, or when's fucking yoga? Like, no, look at the miracle, what's happening? You're floating. You weigh more than fucking 70 elephants and you're floating. What are you doing? I'm just looking at the sea going, No.
That shouldn't be happening.
I still
There's
can't
things
get
we
it.
don't know.
Can someone teach to me with the science, man? It's because I don't get it. Is it sandbags? No.
It's just the thing that drives me mad is that we've only had science for 500 years, really, and we've done so much in that time. Imagine
500 years is nothing.
I know. Imagine if there's a society out there, a civilization that's been around for 10 million.
There has to be. Do
And
you
also-
not believe? Do you believe in aliens?
Oh, well, I don't believe. I just believe in other civilizations because I think it's
Well,
impossible.
aliens, though, isn't it?
Well, you could call them aliens if you want. Yeah, I just think
I'll call them a
I thi-
higher intelligence.
I think aliens is like probably like it sort of undermines the argument.
Magnitude of what it is.
Yeah, it's like
Well-
it's nothing to do with little spaceships, mate. It's, what Joe Rogan says that he's got this theory where he just thinks that there's civilizations out there that get past what we feel. We're so obsessed with blood and skin and bone and like consumerism and stuff, that there's just society out there that have discovered that the meaning of life, or is just sitting there meditating,
Right.
and that's why they haven't visited us, because
So
they think,
why would they?
There's nothing to see.
You would be a fucking absolute blasphemist if you said that this was all there was.
Yeah.
You'd be a fool. 5 senses, Dave.
Yeah,
5.
that's
There's a whistle going on now that I can't hear,
yeah,
but my dog's going, please turn that off.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? I watch Teen Wolf when he's in the fucking...
going mad.
He's in this warehouse store going, where the fuck's the whistle? Like,
Yeah,
come
I
on,
think.
man. Why don't we believe in what we don't see? I don't see fucking oxygen, you dick.
No, yeah.
I'm fully sure I need it.
I know I need it.
I'm sure. I've held my breath.
Well, actually,
for
I
that.
don't know.
When I was a kid, good 2 minutes in the bath, hold my breath. So maybe
Yeah.
I don't need it. But,
Well, maybe we don't need it. We're made to think that we need it.
Right? Could you imagine going beyond in the bath and you go, I've held my breath for 5 minutes. Oh shit! Actually,
Yeah,
I
like
don't
you
need to be.
Yeah, that
I've
would be
got
mad, wouldn't it?
gills.
Let's try.
Mate, but that's the long and short of it, is that you're only ever sold a narrative, man. You're
No.
only ever sold history by the people that won it. Do you know what I mean?
And all we can do, though, is just try and remain positive and make our art and meet our people and have our discussions,
There's only,
eat our nice food if we have to.
there's only a few of us, man.
Yeah.
Like, let's break bread.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
That's
Let
all
the
we
others fucking worry about the rest of it.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about
I don't know enough about science to worry about it.
No. Well, there you go.
I don't deserve to wear that little white jacket with the pens in the pocket. They've obviously earned
The
that.
stethoscope, no, that's a
I've
doctor.
I've got 6 GCs.
Yeah, but that's all you
Yeah.
need, really.
I'm doing alright. I'm not starved to death yet. So I think
Not
I'll be
yet.
alright. Not yet. First world problems.
You probably won't starve to death because you just go out and get food.
Scavenge, steal, beg, borrow, earn. I'll be alright.
Yeah, you'd be fine.
God provides.
Yeah.
There's more than enough pot noodle for all of us. Is the crux of it.
A positive message to end. That's what we want to do. No stress, positivity.
You give me your positive message.
I think.
Why are you asking questions? There you go.
Why I'm asking
Yeah.
questions? Because I want to know
We're playing
more.
ping pong and I've just hit the ball right into your
Right into
court.
me.
Yeah.
I just want to know more
Why?
because I want to understand.
Why?
Because I don't have a reason.
Because you know there's more.
Because I know there's more.
Right?
And that's what I'm trying to find out, and that's what I'm being positive about. Also, I find if I'm positive, it just feels better. So just do that.
I think, it comes down to, we've talked about it a lot, perception.
Yeah.
Whether I think I can or whether I think I can't, either way, I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it, long and short of it.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause-
let's just keep pushing, man.
All you can do is just work from where you are. All you can do is work from there and just use what you've got and progress.
Or not. Or you can just think about how nice your beans on toast is going to taste
Which is fine.
whilst you're watching Corrie.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's fine. What I struggle with is if you look at Corrie and you look at some of the people in it that were children actors, how cute they were
Yeah.
in comparison to now they're adults. And I don't want to name names, but Chesney, you will realise that life is futile and you should make the most of it while you're young. Okay? 'Cause
That's
you're
a
not
positive message.
always going to be that cute, Chesney. Alright?
Chesney, son.
Mate, I'll show you some pictures. Mate, long and short of it is, the joke's on us, isn't it?
Just grow and progress.
Joke's on us. Like, the joke, the punchline is, it's like the worst joke in the world. I'm going to take a guy, I'm going to fuck his shit up, I'm going to fuck him around, and I'm going to fucking kill him. Where's the punchline? All right, this punchline's sweet.
Just realise that it's like that. And there's more.
Just have fun. Have fun in the meantime, man.
That's it. That's all we can do.
What's the podcast called?
No stress.
Well, there's a metaphor, isn't it?
It is.
Try not to.
No stress. Try and not be stressed.
Try not to have stress. That's what they want.
I think that's what they live and breathe off. Stress.
It's of energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a battery.
All you do is you put out negative vibes and you get them back.
Or whatever vibes you put out, you get back. So you're a battery. So whether you put out negative ions or positive ions, you're still a battery, man. You might as well fucking have a laugh before you croak. Right?
That's it. Done.
Ain't going to be this good looking forever.
Well, for another 10.
I wasn't this good looking 10 years ago. That's the irony. Chill out.
Thanks
Go
for
fuck yourself. Can I
Thanks for
say
that.
a message
It's
to our
wicked, isn't it?
sponsors, just super quick?
Do it.
I'd like to thank Florida State Institute, who kept Ted Bundy alive for many, many years, and also Netflix for
Exposing it.
just getting involved in what was a story that we all needed to hear.
Yeah.
Because we can, sit here talking about what is good or what isn't good, but Ted wouldn't have done it, didn't he?
He done well.
He did. He didn't wake up tomorrow and go, was that podcast good or not? He was on the next podcast. And that's how I feel we should think about things. So no stress. Subscribe or whatever.
Subscribe here.
Namaste.
Wait, I can't say it. Yeah, namaste. That's what you say.
Namaste.
I mean, many people say that, but yeah. Cheers for that.
My soul recognises yours.
That's it.
Thanks for having me.
Dave times Bob.
Thanks for having me.